Hey, what up, everybody? Welcome to the Timeless Gamer Show, where our games and our bodies may grow out of date, but our gaming experiences will forever remain. Hey, it's timeless. So you can still check our previous episodes by going to our socials, YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. You can also listen to us, just our voices. That is okay. Just go to your favorite streaming audio platforms out there, and let's give this opportunity to give a shout out to our friends from the Retromancy cohorts, Shuffle Emporium, and Studio.ph, and of course a shout out as well to BitMap Books and Streamyard for making us their official affiliates. And last week, previously on the Thomas Gamer Show, was our all right, so it was our Act Two of our Dungeons and Dragons adventure with Sir Eric Wahlberg. So, if you're curious on what kind of shenanigans our party encountered, you know what to do for this episode. It's a long time coming. Speaking of part two, this is basically our part two of fighting video games, guys. Specifically, the fighting video games of the 2000s up to the 2010s. Because previously, years ago, when we did the fighting games, we only talked about the 80s and the 90s. Now it's a decade older. We have the right people to talk about all of the some of the games from that era. Speaking of which, let's say hello. Let's say hello to the group. We got Sir Jose.
Hey guys, how's it going? Dark Gothic Fate, Jose here. Just joining in again on the Timeless Gamer Show, talking about fighting games.
Red Tate, thank you for that, Sir Jose, and of course, Shin.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Shin Momotu or Shin Mode, and this episode's been a long time running. As you all know, I'm one of the residential fighting game enthusiasts and timeless gamers, and I'm so glad and honored that we have these two people here tonight. So let's take it away with the next guest that we have. Go on ahead, Drew.
Welcome back to the show, Sir Drew, making his season 12
Season
appearance.
12. Season 12. Oh, shoot. I've been away from for one season. Anyway, I just heard I dropped by the DC. I heard this fighting games, and I'm here for it. I'm one of those guys who actually really love fighting games, but I'm not good at it. I'm one of those guys who drop a token, trying to play the game, trying to finish, trying to get to the final boss, but somebody would drop a token on the other end of on the other arcade cabinet, and I'm just gonna be, oh, shoot me. Anyway, I love fighting games. I'm not good at it, but anyway, we're here. I'm glad to be back. And how do you do? And anyway, back to you, Sir Joe.
How do you do, Ken? And of course, we got Sir JD Iam.
Are you
Yes.
okay?
Hello,
Awesome.
guys, and welcome to the Timeless Gamer Show. And I'm here to talk about as well my favorite fighting games. As you can see, I'm wearing my fighting jacket and this familiar shield symbol. Uh, so
So,
I might know.
so basically, Captain America with Terry Bogart's jacket.
Yes, I just locked the cap.
The blonde, the cap and the blonde hair. Yeah, no, that's fine. You're basically Robert Garcia.
Yeah, he is. He is basically Robert Garcia.
All right, thank you so much, Sir
Customized.
JDM. All right, so guys, so before we go ahead with the fighting games, before we proceed with the fisticuffs, let's do some show and tell. In this segment, we will just show and brag some of our latest acquisitions for the last few days, whether it's games, music, movies, comics, whatever nerdy culture. Go on ahead, guys. If you have any, take the floor. What you got, Sir Drew?
Okay,
I think you have some.
I have some. Luckily, today is shopping day, and I'm gonna make this as show this as quickly as I could. Anyway, I got a secondhand Terraria for PlayStation 4 for 700 yen, so around $5, I think. And I got Mega Man X4, Rockman X4,
Get away.
800 yen. And I get Mad Max for Xbox One, 1000 yen. A little bit hard to come by. I cannot do 100% of this because one of those things are already online lock. Anyway, also some new releases: Brothership, Mario and Luigi RPG Brothership. Bad review from IGN, but I don't care. Anyway, for the latest release, we got Marvel
I
versus
hate you
Fight.
guys.
Anyway, just timely for our episode for today and some non-games. I got another one of those light thingies from Dragon Quest. So this is the item shop. Just gonna go well with the weapon shop light over there at my background. And the cream of the crop for today's show and tell, our X78-2 head.
God damn you. I hate you so much now.
This one, I was like,
CD.
I was trying to be frugal earlier, but I was like, and I saw this one, and I was, oh, you're going home with me? No, no, no. My wife's gonna say
Brutal.
yes. Please say yes. Please say yes. And luckily, she said yes. Anyway, that's it for today.
Like, what else she can do? You already bought it.
No, I didn't. I haven't paid for it, but I did what any responsible adult would do when asking for from his wife to buy him something. I did that. I'll do anything. Please buy this, please, please, please. I don't know. I'm gonna clean the
Bargaining.
house. I'm
This
gonna
is much
clean.
more
Bargain. Bargain.
actually, yeah, it's better than to hear the bargain discount price. It's better to hear your wife say yes, you may, than see the 10% discount price. That's how it is basically.
Yeah. Well, I- I'm like it's hey, 6,000 yen. Can I? It's a little bit hard to find. I've been searching for this for so on and so on. I did give a little bit of a backstory and sad droopy eyes, and you know.
So you gave the whole chart with the whole proposition.
Yeah, of course I did, and I even
You
gave
have
that.
to, right?
Yeah, I even have to, and
And there's
I
the wife.
have I have to tell her that hey, it's hard to come by. It might go up in price. Might huge open close parenthesis on might. I might get a
I'm gonna
quick
try to
box
use that.
of this.
I'm gonna try
Yeah,
to
I'll
use that
probably
someday.
use this.
It might not come back, hon. We don't
Yeah,
know. The
and it's
time is
gonna look
now.
good in the background if I place it here somewhere. Anyway,
Think about the future.
By the way, we have a
So,
message here from Sir Kerwin D. Sawyer. He said that nice holds. Good evening, bros and partner Drew. Happy streaming,
hey,
everyone. Hello, hello,
Thank
sir.
you,
hey,
Sir
sir.
bro, Kerbo.
Kerwin.
Broker
Everything
Bro, by the way, guys, Broker Bro, we used to do a show called Insert Coin Press Start, and it used to clash with the schedule of Timeless Gamers, but sadly we had to drop it. And anyway, I'm glad to
No,
you guys.
I always wanted Sir Kerwin to be on the show. However, his weekends are
Yeah,
almost as short
yeah.
as yours.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's the reason why we were actually trying to get some people because our show was a little bit different from Timeless Gamers because Timeless Gamer Show is obviously trying to share which games our listeners would be able to discover or share our experiences with the games that we are talking about. And when we were doing Insert Gun Press Start is mostly we were focused on the news, what's going on in the gaming world, and our opinions and what our takes were in regards to those gaming news. So um, anyway, both are different now, and we had to drop it because of really hectic schedule. Maybe if we had a panel as diverse as what we have in Timeless Gamers, but for the meantime, it's on a hiatus. Anyway, that's sorry for getting a little bit sidetracked. Anyway, back to you, Sir Joe.
All right. So with all of those stuff, it's very hard to top it. But let's see what Sir Jose will get. All right, Sir Jose, what you got? Let's stop it. Come on.
Stop it. I don't know if I can, but continuing. It's still mail week, so I'm getting all these stuff still. So I got
Still with the
Frozen
Ninja
Time.
Turtle. It's
Yeah,
Leonardo.
yeah. So this is for Radical Rescue.
Damn that artwork.
So we're still getting those, and we got the CD and the cassette.
Ooh, shoot
Oh.
me.
And then this one I surprisingly found. It's Donkey Kong Country 2 vinyl.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was only $15, so that was nice to find. And then like Sir Drew, I do have
Yes.
as well.
Marvel.
Hey,
The Capcom Fighting Collection.
Yep.
look, both
Looks
have it.
familiar.
Shit, look.
All right. Very good, very good, very good. Very nice, very nice. All right. We got Sir Raymond down there at the chat. Thank you, Sir Raymond, for sharing the show. And we got also got Sir Eric Wahlberg, our dungeon master from the previous Dungeon and Dragons episode, our latest addition as well, the Thomas Gamers crew, which we were told that he was going to sleep tonight. That's why he didn't want it. That's why he opted not to do the fighting games episode. Thank you so well. At least thank you, Sir Eric, for dropping in before going to sleep.
He can't sleep
You
because he's waiting for the
can't
show.
sleep. He's waiting for the show. He'll just listen in. All right. For me, how about Sir JTM? Do you have any?
Yeah, I actually it came early this morning and
Yay! Unboxing.
just in time. So I already opened this up. This was from
Ooh.
1111 Data Blitz,
Oh,
Sale.
nice.
Resident Evil 2 Revelations. I just opened this
Revelations.
bit
PC.
little. Yes, this is a PC version. Uh, yeah, I checked it. It has the disc and the code. So
Oh, so you got the game this time, not just a digital
yes,
download.
fortunately. And I also have this Brave.
Brave.
I
There's a
think
game of
I
that?
mentioned
Brave.
yeah, there's
Oh
a
yeah.
I
Yeah,
mentioned
it's not
this
that bad
in
actually.
the Disney episode that I played this on the PS3. Now I have it on the PC.
Right.
I didn't even realize that there's a PC version of this. And I'm just looking at my camera. I look like April Boy Regino. And, and this one, Thief, I think this is the remake of the original from the 90s. It's from Eidos and Square Enix. Let's see. I think 2011. From 2011. And this one, Saints Row Collection. This is Saints Row the Third and Saints Row 4, which is like a DLC. It's not. I don't consider Saints Row 4 as a um, main Saints Row game. It's like just a DLC. It's like a Matrix something
Yeah,
theme to
I
it.
think that's how it started off, was a DLC, and then they were like, we could probably charge full price for this.
Yeah, it's like a bait and switch
Yeah.
actually. And I think Ninong Joel will like this one. Also, um, perhaps Sir Dan. Burnout Paradise Ultimate Box, which I don't know
Burnout.
what's included in
What's
this
inside?
game. Yeah. So no,
Unboxing.
it's a DVD, but I don't know what are included in this game. I just bought it, and
For the hell
then
of it.
yeah, I was actually looking forward to play this one, Battlefield Bad Company 2, which
Battlefield.
I thought it includes a DVD, but looky here, it's just a code. Once again, I got duped because in the, because in the store, in the e-commerce store, it says that PC DVD. So I was confident that I'm going to receive a CD. I mean a DVD, but lo and behold,
Another digital download.
another digital download. And this one is quite, I don't know if it's rare. It says exclusive Heroes 5,
Ooh, Heroes 5.
Heroes of Might and Magic 5 collection,
Oh,
gold
okay.
edition. I think
Yeah,
the DLCs are
Sir
included.
Joel and Sir Dan will like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And this one, I think this one is a really good find. Collector's edition uncut of Painkiller, Hell, and Damnation. They said that
Painkiller.
this game is like both a sequel and remake of the original Painkiller game from 2005 for the PS2 and the PC. So I bought it. It's for 99 pesos only for this one. It's uh it has a hard case. I don't know what. I think it's only there's a case inside. So and you know what? How we have a segment about pissing Viraj off.
Yes.
This one
Yes,
I
my
thought
favorite segment.
I'm just throwing it out here. I saw this Ubisoft exclusive Microsoft Train Simulator.
Train simulator.
It's just unfortunate that he's not here because it's just for 49 pesos. So that's about $1, right? So I just bought it. Why? Oh, okay. Just let me just add this to the cart. So sadly, he's not here to see it. But Viraj, if you're watching, just watch the replay. So that's it.
um, we hardly see Sir JDM participate with the show and tell portions, but
Remember, remember,
whenever he does, it's just one time, big time in a box, like one after.
remember in the last episode, in the Halloween episode, tune in next. I said tune in next week or
Tune in
tune
next.
in the
No,
next episode.
it's tune in next sale.
Tune in next sale.
All
Hey,
right.
And
I'm
in December,
Oh, speaking of which, we got speaking of people returning back to the show for a while. We got survey of Retro Freak Gaming Studio.ph in the
here comes a
house.
new challenger.
Here comes the new star challenger survey. What you got? Show and tell. He froze. All right. I'll just proceed with mine for now. Whoop, there you go. Hi, survey. You're
Ay,
in the. Hi, caller. You're
Hi,
live.
Shelby.
I'm live. Yan. Sige. What's up? Ayan, Timeless Gamer, what's up? Kaya bigla lang akong sumulpot sa chat and then yan. Okay. Ano ba to?
Imposible wala kang, it's impossible you don't have any for show and tell. After Data Blitz, you have something for show and tell. Go on
That
ahead.
T-shirt is more than enough, Sir Ray. I love that shirt.
Up, I think he froze again.
I love that
No.
shirt.
All right. While we're waiting for survey to come back, um, I'll just do mine. So we did our trip in Queensland, and I found a couple of retro stores there. Um, this one is not really retro, but I wanted Sir Drew and Miss Hino to be proud of me. That's why I got this, and this is the cheapest one that I. This is the cheapest copy that I can find of this game. Thirteen
Yeah.
Sentinels, the Switch version anyway. And then I hate myself for this, but I believe the Sega Mega Masters will love me for this. Get Fantasy Star 2 for the
Oh,
Mega Drive.
nice.
Mm.
Gosh.
Unfortunately, there's no manual. It's
Oh.
just the game and the card. But I
Nobody's
was able to
gonna
find it.
know.
You know
Right?
what?
No, no, no.
You know what? I'll just print my own manual. Yeah,
Yeah. Nobody's gonna know. You're
it's
not gonna
Fantasy
tell
Star.
anyone.
It's Fantasy Star 2. Yes,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So I'm gonna try this out once I get home. Oh, we got
But
Saray back.
Aegis
Yeah.
All
Rim,
right,
so good.
Saray, what you got?
Okay. So what's up, guys? It's been a while since I've been joining the Timeless Gamer podcast, and I've been building some. Uh, I've been building
Toys,
some
Gundams, mobile
Gundams.
suits, Gunpla.
Berka? Sorry.
Nice.
The Zabi. The Zabi.
Sasavi.
Berka? Sasabi
Sasavi.
Berka?
Yep. MG version.
Master
Good version.
grade.
Ayan. And then, and I've been getting some Xbox games.
Is that from the sale?
And this is from the 11/11 sale of Data Blitz.
Yes.
And we got Just Dance 16.
Yes.
And I'm not a Gear Solid fan, pero I got the Metal Gear Solid game.
Ground
Ground
Zero.
Zero.
Which one is that?
Ground Zero.
Ground Zero.
Yeah. And then I got Dragon Age Acquisition.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
What else? Bound by Flame.
Bound by Flame.
Bakit choppy yung camera ko?
Shopee.
Hey, hello, yun.
Thank you, Shopee.
And di na siya choppy. Yan. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Yan. Like the
Ask
glare,
me.
Yan.
Creed
And Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Yan.
Modern Warfare. Yeah.
Modern
Call of Duty.
Warfare. Just Dance for Disney version 2 party.
Ooh.
And then
Disney.
some Wii games. Yan. Yeah. Basically, it's from the 11/11 Data Blitz sale. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. And then, what? Yeah. Been busy doing a lot of things lately. Like, yeah. Yeah. Back to you, Sir Joe.
We'll hear more about that later with Sir Raymond Studio.ph Retro Freak Gaming. Yes. All right. Let's go proceed to the meat and bones of the show, which is fighting games, guys. Specifically 2000s to the 2010s. So we got Sir Jose. We're gonna be co-leading this episode along with Shin once he gets back from doing some daddy duties. So let's give it to Sir Jose. What makes a fighting game? To be specific. Now, before we so a little bit of interjection. Originally, because there's a lot of fighting games out there, and we wanted to narrow it down. Okay, so we said, okay, how about we'll just focus on the tournament style, one-on-one versus fighting games. Yeah, so we're not gonna do any brawler style. We're not gonna do the third-person style, brawler style. In this case, like Power Stone or Smash Brothers. The third-person view style, like Jump versus Stars or Dragon Ball Budoten Tenkaichi kind of games. Not any of those. Just uh, like a 2D plane, horizontal plane, fighting one-on-one stuff and like that, right? But no, lo and behold, Sir Viraj, being the contrarian that he is, and he said, "Okay, I'll just choose super. I'll just choose Super Smash Brothers. I'm like, we we just talked about this. We're not going to be doing that kind of thing. And then he gave us like this 20-minute dissertation on why it should be included in the episode. No, I'm exaggerating. It's only just a 2-minute rant why Super Smash Brothers should be included in this episode, and he's not here yet anyway. So I said, okay, if we're gonna do Super Smash Brothers, okay, we'll just include the brawler battle royale fighting games, whatever. More choices anyway.
Good thing you brought that up because one of the games that I really did enjoy was Jump Ultimate Stars, and that's actually the best anime style fighting game that I know of. Anyway, not gonna
Right.
bring it up now since you already said it. No, okay, I'm gonna.
Oh no, we're gonna include we're gonna include some of those. All right, Arthur, go on ahead.
Okay, so what makes a fighting game, according to us, not Viraj? A fighting game, it's one-on-one versus game. Usually there's a health bar included. Not always needed, but sometimes there will be a super bar where you could do super special moves. And that's basically it. There's a cast of characters you can choose from, and you just fight it out. There's not much to it. Just standard, tried and true method, one-on-one. I don't know, Shin, you have anything to add about what makes a fighting game besides one-on-one, health bars, super meters?
Basically, before anything else, Christina Mon, I miss you. What basically makes a fighting game interesting is that it's basically a made up, not really a meta, but a little bit of an advanced version of Hey Viraj, an advanced version of rock paper scissors. It doesn't look like it, but basically a fighting game is no different from a rock paper scissors, where your choice is to go and beat the other person. Depends on what move you're gonna have, because one move could actually be countered by another move. It's just that like people doesn't really see it that way because we're also used and programmed to seeing a beat 'em up game or a character just jumping in and crouching and doing all these moves and whatnot. But if you look at the most hindsight of it, it's basically a rock paper scissors game.
Strategy.
And I would actually have to 100% agree with Shin on this. It's either you block, you attack, you evade. So rock paper scissors, most basic thing on how to describe a fighting game. 100% agree on that one.
Yes. It's basically the most hindsight when you think about it. But yes, go ahead.
Yeah, that's not.
I know what makes a fighting game. There should always be at least one. There should always be at least one eye
I know what
candy
he's about to say.
character in there. Okay, there's always be a set. There's always one set of one set or one pair of you know what.
With
And
great
that
hits
makes-
comes great
that-
responsibility.
He's not lying. There's always at least one.
At least one.
Yeah.
At least one. Just give me one, okay? I mean, if there's one reason why I should be playing fighting games, it's only make it two. Two reasons why I should be playing fighting games. Oh, you know what?
No,
Make
four.
it three.
Four.
Yeah, make it four.
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 Yes,
Make
see?
it four.
Those are
No,
four.
Serverach agrees with me.
Well,
So what is that? What is the four and the reasons why? Why do you play
No, I
fighting
agree.
games?
At the back.
I need
I
an
agree.
answer for that. I need an answer.
There is. No, I agree with you. Because these women that have to fight in these fighting games have to be fit. All right, they have to be.
Oh,
They have to look a certain way. I mean, with this aspect of it, all right, like it's there. I mean, it's been there from the very beginning when this genre began. And when it began, we're talking Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, and the women in those games were just outstandingly good looking as well, and that set the precedent going forward and forward. Now, the biggest issue though, the biggest controversy is Street Fighter now. The women, they look outstanding, but they've covered them up a bit. There's a lot more censorship. Have you noticed that? How Cammy is a lot more censored in the newer ones, whereas the older ones, same with Mortal Kombat as well.
Yeah.
Boo.
Ooh, where's my leotards? Where's my bodysuit?
So I've noticed that there has been a change in that, and I blame. Well, I don't want to sort of diverge in the subject. I do blame wokeness and people finding women to be exploited.
There is that. It is a bigger percentage of that. Yes,
there is. I'm not. Look, I think, and even though I'm a bit conservative in this, and I do believe that women, look nice even if they're modest. But I think, let's be honest, sex sells, and I think. We want to look at things as men. We want to look at things that are attractive to the eye, and we like to play against beautiful women, and we like to see that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that in fighting games, whether a woman is covered up or not. That's fine. that's my view. So I'm not actually going to give Joe a hard time on his point here. We should have beautiful women in fighting games because I think there's something.
I'm having a hard time right now. Just talking about Cammy.
Anyway, I view this differently. You think it's being about more conservative or being about censorship or whatnot? It's actually being able to sell the outfits more in the form of DLC. It has nothing to do with politics or those whatnot.
But love this. Like you see so many fans at these cosplay conventions, women who like to dress up as these characters. Like how many Chun-Lis have you seen? And
how many Cammys have you seen on TikTok?
There you go. Yeah, there we go. Look, we have this, and they're absolute babes. They're absolute babes, and yes, they've changed them and all that, but so what? So what? But that being said, the games play very well. Like I mentioned, Street Fighter, I said Mortal Kombat. They've evolved so much since the early 1990s, and like Shin just said, it's rock paper scissors. There's a strategy involved when you play fighting games. We've got blocking, we have attacking, we have parrying. There's so many different ways in which you can play it, and there's so many different mechanics that are through. I think the key to a good fighting game is have a mechanic that works well with the controller. And I think Street Fighter was the first one that really got that right, where the controls actually were very ergonomic to the player to play a game, and you knew what combination you needed to pull off those moves while fighting. And I think all these other fighting games
are you raping?
So there you go. But I think someone said Smash Brothers. You're talking about me saying Smash Brothers is a fighting game because it says it in under genre. When you look at, you just Google it, you say under the genre, it says fighting. So
wait. Are we gonna go there? Because
we'll go there. I'll take you down to Chinatown. I'll take you down to Chinatown. It's a fighting game. All right.
Look, I don't like Smash either, but the fact that it shows up,
because you're not good at it.
I'll give it a chance.
That's because you're not good at it. I mean, as a game, it started off on the N64. There's 5 of them now, and they put a lot of work into these games. There's a huge roster. I mean, where else can you fight a Sonic the Hedgehog and Super Mario and play the 2 big heavyweights and really give it a go?
Okay, so we're starting off number 1. Now, the first game Serverachi is talking about it. Super Smash, go.
Okay, so obviously the criteria was 2000 to 2010 fighting game. So I'm gonna pick
one.
So I'm gonna say Smash Brothers Brawl.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay, now here's a fighting game that has got all of the Nintendo favorite All-Stars in there. They've even added characters like Solid Snake. So JDM should be on my side here because I know how he bumsucks Solid Snake here. So he's in that game. Sonic the Hedgehog is in this game. We've got
Careful what you say, JDM. Be careful what you say.
Yeah, he's there, but they murdered his ours.
What I like about these games are that with Smash Bros. Every character also has their own special attack. They have their own moveset. And also you have you've got characters that are brawlers. Yeah, you have characters that use projectile weapons as well as brawl, and you have those characters that can actually have weapons as well, like Ike who has a sword. So you have different fighting mechanics in there and different weight classes as well. So a character like Ganondorf is really heavy, and then you have a character like say Link, which is a middleweight character. So whilst Ganondorf is really hard to blast out of the arena because that's how you win in Smash Bros. There is an energy bar in the sense that it's you're smashing a character to the point where they're so light, and when they reach over 100%, you can actually do a combo attack and blast them out of the arena. That's a unique fighting mechanism. So you are actually whittling down their strength and their power by increasing their percentage. And you can pull off an attack and blast them out of the arena, and that means that you've KO'd them effectively. So it's a fighting game that plays differently to other versus fighting, but it's still a versus fighting game. And it's an incredibly creative fighting game that Nintendo have made, and props to them. And that's why it's a very successful franchise. These things sell millions on the consoles that they're on now, and that's why a lot of people love and play these games. And the Wii one I really like because they added a lot of characters to the roster. Yes, you can play 1 and 2 players, but here you can play against the computer. You have different modes as well, but you can play up to 4 players. Isn't that great? I mean, do you not ever lament for those days when you and 3 other friends are at your house, you're playing on one TV and you're playing a game? Those are some good times, and it's a really good game if you want to just compete with each other in that regard. And you can just keep playing and playing and playing, and it's so addictive. Also, you can play this online. Also, there's a single-player mode called the Subspace Emissary. So there's a story-based game as well. So it's not just versing the computer and playing different characters at different quick levels. There's a lot more to it. You have different stage designs. It's not just like one flat plane. You have, as you can see, you've got a stage that's moving, so you have that variable. You have stages which have different platforms as well. But you can actually fight on a single plane motif if you wanted to. So, you have so much variety. You also have items that appear, and you get special powers. So there is a level of randomness in the game, but you can exploit it to your advantage if you know what you're doing. So there is that. And but this is the one thing I really like about Smash Bros. There's such a huge character roster. There's different players with different different characters with different attacks. You can learn how to play them to your advantage as well. And you'll pick a character that you like or a selection of them. So much you can do with this game. It's unbelievable just how much fun it is. So yeah, I really like Smash Brothers. It's a really good game because not only have Nintendo made it, they've got licensed characters from Sega and Sega and Namco, and they actually have a hand in the development of this. It's not just purely Nintendo. There's a lot of really skilled programmers, along with Team Sora, who made this, which can make it a really, really fun game to play. And obviously the newer version, which I'm not going to speak too much about since they weren't made before 2010, have enhanced this and built upon this and made it so much better, which is why it's such a killer app and such a killer franchise for Nintendo. There we go. That's my thoughts on Smash Bros. And why it's the game that I think is a really great versus fighting game for everyone. And you can pick these up cheap as well because they're sold in the millions. There's so many of these being sold on the pre-owned market, so can't really go wrong.
I'm one of the people who actually agree with Biraj on this one.
There you go. See,
I was just while you were not here, I was talking about Jump Ultimate Stars, which is also on the same vein as Smash Brothers, but anime style on the DS. Also an awesome game, and this is actually the introduction of my son to be able to appreciate fighting games. Because yes, it's simple. It's simple on the way that a proper way to phrase this is just because you have a lot more options for this game does not make it not a fighting game. It's because you have more freedom with the Smash series. You could do it 1v1v1v1 and or 1v1 or whatever, and you could have items on there. You have more interaction with your stage than what you are used to with regular fighting games. So I think that's what people are having a hard time trying to accept this as a fighting game. Even the FGC rarely includes Smash on the tournament. So, but it does get included in the tournament.
All right.
Look at MK
All
Lane.
right. Okay. Personally, okay.
That's accurate.
Just to be clear, I the only reason why I said we're just going to narrow it down to one-on-one is because there are a lot of variety of fighting games. The battle royale style, the battle royale brawl style, like Super Smash Brothers, that's a subcategory of a fighting game. I didn't say, okay, just to be clear, I didn't say Smash Brothers is not a fighting game. I'm just saying
I'm also going to count.
we just focus on the tournament style. All right.
Okay.
Tournament style.
I get
I'm
it.
talking about the style. I'm not talking about it not being a fighting game. As long as people are fighting each other, beating the hell out of each other, it's a fighting game. All right.
Let me
There's
just
a health meter, there's a KO sign, there's a fighting game.
Let me clarify. Now, you mentioned how it's one-on-one tournament game. You mentioned Battle Royale. Smash Bros. Isn't exclusively a battle royale. It is a 1 versus 1 tournament style. When you played this online, there were rooms that you could play in when it was 1+1. You could have a tournament, one versus the other. So you can actually make it exactly like you just said right now. It's got to be tournament. So you have the option. Nintendo is an and company. We believe you can do this and you can also do this. It's not exclusive. It's not or. So the benefit is you can do 1v1 on Smash. And whenever my brother and I played, there's only 2 of us. We didn't get the computer. We was like, let's do it. Let's have a little tournament. This is best out of 10. Who's the king? Yeah, I'm going to pick Ike. You can pick Link or whatever loser character you want, and I'll beat you. So the fact of the matter is, you can do 1 versus 1 as well on Smash, and you can have those sort of tournaments. You have the option.
And I have to say sorry, actually, because I was ranting without knowing the full context of what I thought Biraj was fighting because most of the guys didn't want to consider it as a fighting game. So anyway, I'm gonna retract my.
The problem is, Smash Brothers blows a lot of fighting games out the ring, and the reason it does is because there's just so much in it. It offers so much more variables than a lot of these traditional 1 versus 1 fighters. And yes, there are. Street Fighter. There's a different mechanic there. And the funny thing is, Ryu is in Smash Brothers now. They put Ryu in there and Ken. They've allowed. It's so big. They've actually put them to the roster.
They're trying so hard to grab most of us.
Yeah. So I'm saying, look, Smash Bros. The gravity of that game and the design of it is so big. None of these other fighting games can compete. But let's just restrict. If you just restrict it of just a 1 versus 1 fighting game, it's still a great game on its own, and it still has its own strategy and its own fun with it.
Actually, Viraj could be forgiven with this one since the title of the episode is not really that specific. It just said fighting game from 2000 to 2010. So it's not his fault, so it's okay.
No, because it says, hang about, I've already corrected you guys once. I'm going to do it. I'll do it again. I'll remind you guys. It says fighting under the genre when you look at it on Wikipedia. It doesn't say it's a brawler. It says a fighting game. So,
I completely agree with you. It's a fighting game, but
your little definition of the word.
Anyway, you get the gist of it anyway.
I'm going to pick that as a game that's worth playing. If you haven't played it, give it a go. It's fun to have friends around playing it. It's also fun playing on your own if you want. And there's all sorts of moves you can unlock. And I like there's a special power that you can get for every character. I like one thing I loved about Smash Brothers, and the reason I picked the Wii one, and you're going to laugh at this.
Sonic is there.
Sonic is in there. The fact enjoy all the Sega fans like Sonic's going to be in Smash, and everyone bought it.
Everyone's in there.
Just Mario. And everybody, when they saw Sonic and Mario on the same screen,
everyone is in there like
that was big. And I think my friend Mark, he's a big Nintendo fan, and I've got a friend called Mark, and he's like, do you know what I really hate about Smash Bros. And the Wii? They made Mario so weak. Every Smash Bros. Iteration they made him weaker and weaker. And why is it Sonic can beat Mario? And he goes, because Sonic was always more powerful than Mario anyway. And he's like, what? And he started this whole thing. But playing Sonic versus Mario was always something I enjoyed doing, because Sonic is fast and he can do certain things, whereas Mario has his own attacks as well. But it's not just that. You have all sorts of other characters and mixes that you can take on in Smash Brothers, and there's different challenges. For example, if you're playing a lightweight character like Sonic, and he's quite lightweighted and playing against Ganondorf, my brother picked Ganondorf because he was powerful, but he was slow. So the idea is I'm playing a fast character, trying to get as many hits on Ganondorf, but all it took was my brother to hit me 3 times, and I was out of the arena because he's so overpowered. But he's so slow, it's very hard for him to hit me compared to Sonic. So each character has his own strengths and weaknesses. And that's what I like about Smash Bros. I'm not saying that it's equally weighted, and it isn't. What I'm saying is each character you have to use to your advantage. And that's what I like about it. And I'm not saying that all fighting games have their own characters with strengths and weaknesses, which we're going to discover with the games that you're going to choose. But hey, listen, I love Smash Brothers. That's my favorite fighting game because it's so accessible to so many people out there. It's just an easy game to get into and access. So I'll leave it with that.
All right. So you heard it here. You heard it first. Sir Viraj likes Smashing Brothers. All right.
Yo.
Who's next? Next? Sir Drew, what you got?
I could go.
You can go. Go.
I could go.
Here we go. Come on. It better be good.
Oh, you're
You're
muted.
muted, by the way. You're muted, Drew. You're muted.
Press the mute button by mistake.
Sorry. Anyway, I'm so glad that the guys let me have this one because out of all the fighting games, this is the one that I still play up to now, and it's included in the Marvel versus Capcom Fighting Collection. It's the one and only Marvel versus Capcom 2. So my love for this started with the X-Men Children of the Atom games. X-Men, the first series, it had such a huge impact on me, and add to the fact that I love Street Fighter. As I've said, I'm not good at fighting games. I just love playing fighting games. I'm good. I'm good when I'm with my friends in my circle of friends. I'm good in the sense that I'm not always getting perfected by the guys. Anyway, the reason why this is my top love fighting game is that most of the characters that I do love are here. I know the newer games have more, like MBC3 has Virgil, and Infinite has Zero on there, but this one has a unique art style that's screams 90s. It screams 2000s. It's a comic book rendition, and I do recommend playing this one on a CRT. I think most of the 90s, early 2000 fighting games are better played on a CRT because it really blends well. And this is a 3v3 fighting game with all of the tagged the assists integrated into your on your three-man team. You got the characters from the earlier games all on this. I think it's one of those games that has such a huge roster, and that's why it has such a huge impact on me. One of the reasons why I got a Sega Dreamcast because um I think most of the Naoki Naomi, most of the Naomi Cabs games play so well on the Sega Dreamcast, and it is my go-to because I had such um, awesome experience playing arcade games that one of the reasons why I get a Sega Dreamcast, and it's one of my most beloved retro arcade machines, and it's the reason why I have collected each and every version of this particular fighting game. Here we go. Different box art, cover art for both MBC2 on the PlayStation and on the Xbox OG. My favorite artwork is the one on the Dreamcast, the Japanese version. I don't have the that's the only one I don't have. But anyway,
Sir
favorite,
Drew, Sir Drew,
yeah.
Sir Drew. I'll just interject. The Naomi version of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was a piece of crap. They preferred the original Dreamcast version of it
Also,
on the
the
CRT version.
okay,
On
so
the
is
arcade cabinet, they prefer it for the tournaments and the free play. Naomi sucks for the MVC Marvel vs. Capcom 2
Why does it suck?
CD.
Yeah.
The Naomi version.
Yeah, but why is the Naomi version not good? I just want to know why you're saying the Dreamcast console version is better than the arcade.
Is it slower?
Yeah.
Yeah, the frame rate was bit slower.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And fighting the fighting game community prefer the
The
original
Dreamcast
Dreamcast
version.
version.
I
mm,
mean, the Dreamcast was based on Naomi hardware anyway, to be
Yeah,
honest. So
but
it's,
yeah, well,
that's,
when
but
they
I
put
played it.
the game on the arcade machine,
Oh, okay.
they prefer the original one rather
Hmm.
than the Naomi version.
I
Okay.
think that's I know that's one of the difference with non-professional gamers like myself who's not really good at video games. I cannot really distinguish the difference in frame and a higher frame rate and lower one when it comes to this on the professional level. Anyway, on the professional level, each frame counts since when it comes to fighting games, there's a particular frame count when you're doing moves and the hitboxes and whatnot. I'm not really that keen on noticing these things. As I've said, I only enjoy and love fighting games, but I suck at it. I cannot go and win tournaments with the skill level that I have, but I do love and enjoy them. Anyway,
Hindi naman kita hindi naman kita bina-block for that, okay? Ano lang, sinabi ko lang kasi kahit naman ako as a fighting game enthusiast din, wala akong pakialam sa frame rate eh. Even Mamochu knows that. Wala akong pakialam sa frame rate. Hindi ko nga rin alam kung bakit yung ibang tournament players, they really malandi or medyo sila sa frame rate.
Nahati yan eh.
Something like that.
Nahati sila sa
Oo.
technical
Right.
with the enjoyment and heart. That's the reason why they have Daigo Umehara as the top player that's not technical, and then you have like these other Korean players like
Justin Wong is a
Justin Wong.
technical player.
Justin Wong, Daigo Umehara.
Justin Wong.
But Daigo tends to be like the more about heart. In other words,
Yeah.
katulad ni Chris Raymond here, who plays more with just like the instinct, the enjoyment of it. He doesn't really go
Yeah.
with like opening up his cell phone and saying that Tatsumaki is 2 frame plus. If I do this, it equals to. They don't go that technical, and that's basically where some people tend to confuse that all professional players tend to read frames, but in reality,
joke.
some of them are still just like
And
Daigo.
then
I wanna go
you got and then you got players like me. I don't really care if the frame rate is slower or faster as long as they're
You want
jiggling, as
one
long as
frame.
they're bouncing. I am good.
Let's
It's
face it,
all about the
you just
pixel
want-
count.
No, Kuya
Right.
Joe
It's
wants
all
one
about the
frame.
pixels.
Just that one frame of
Mm.
Jun Lee kicking. That one frame of Jun Lee kicking was enough for him. It's like, yep, there's that
Yeah.
frame. Blue. It was blue. I was right. I love it. Yeah, that's how Kuya
As
Joe.
long as I can peek down there, I'm good.
Oh, I think what I like about this game that you mentioned is I like the way they're drawn. I like the characters and the art style of the 90s. You got a whopping roster of 56 characters from the Marvel universe as well. You got a good split between Marvel and the Capcom universe. Not just when we say Capcom, it's not the Street Fighter characters. You've got Mega Man characters too. And you've got Hiryu, Strider, and you've got all these other characters from the Capcom side that are really fun to play as and explore as well.
Even the obscure ones, like
Yeah.
Jin from Cyberbots. You got Plasma Sword on there with Hayato, and you also have 3 original characters that were specifically made for MBC2. You got Amingo, Ruby Heart, and Son Son. I was actually before, since I didn't know that they were original characters, since we don't have easy access to the internet as what we do now. Yeah, sir. Shit.
Kuya Drew, I just have to correct you with Sun Sun. Sun Sun is actually a 8-bit game back in the day.
Oh, okay.
It's Strider.
So
Another
that's
great
the reason.
thing about-
She's basically she looks like an original character because she's never been introduced in any other game for a long while. But
She's
Capcom
I,
has a game called
I think
Sun
she's
Sun,
the
side-scrolling shooting game.
granddaughter of the Son from the
The
original.
granddaughter of that character, yeah. In a way. So
Ah.
technically, yeah, maybe she is the original. She's an original character for MVC, but it's pretty much a nod from the fact that like there's a game called Sun in Capcom back in the days.
Wait, hang on. Son Son's a girl?
And here it is.
Yeah,
How? When?
Hmm.
dude,
How?
bro, there's
Granddaughter
Right.
of Wokong.
Okay. Searching for images.
Yes,
Oh my God.
just
Go,
give him,
go search,
just
go
give him the
search,
days.
go search
This-
Sun. Also, go search for Go Kaiser, because there's also a granddaughter of Wukong on that one, and she's mighty fine, like Masami Obari mighty kind of fine.
Nice. Now I see it. Now
Rule
I see it.
34.
So she's
Looking
still
for Rule
technically
34, some crap.
an
Technically
original
new.
character.
Well,
But
Yeah,
she's a descendant from the original game's
original.
character.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
bingo.
There you go.
There you. Oh yeah. Okay, I see it.
Thank you for that.
I see it. Okay.
And
And
that's
that's going
All
to
right.
Another
piggyback
I see it.
the artwork that Sir Drew mentioned. If you notice the characters, like if you see in my background, they're so relaxed, unlike the other,
Yes.
like they're not
Yeah.
doing their special, like their
They're not there to kill
angry
you.
faces, their game faces.
They want
It's
the
just
first
they're
Marvel
relaxed.
versus
Like they're
Capcom on
doing
their
Yes,
own
they're
screaming
there
and
to
mouth
have
their
open. Like,
fun and so are the players.
I
there's
think
no screaming, there's no like this angry emoji in their foreheads. It's they're so relaxed. They're not really like in their fight mode. So that's what I like
I can
about the
answer
art.
that.
I,
I can answer
another
that,
thing I like
GDM. You know
about
why? Because it's the calming before the storm, before the beatdown starts.
Hmm.
Mm.
I-
So they're not in fight mode yet. They're
Yeah.
in like
Yeah,
the
they're just they're
pre
calm.
battle introduction celebration
I
mode. We're in the okay. Let's still have fun.
You can
Then
tell
we're gonna go
everybody's
kill each
power
other
meter is
tomorrow.
still
and
everybody's
also
power meter is
looking at
still at
the
zero on that
art,
one.
it it looks similar to the artwork in Street Fighter Alpha 3. Like they're so relaxed as well, and they're really in a great mode, like Sakura, and even Ken was smiling, right?
Always
In
smiles.
Street
It's
Fighter Alpha.
Ken.
No,
Come
the
on.
reason
Patient.
Ken is smiling is because he sees Psylocke. He's like,
Sir Drew, who are you picking when you play Marvel vs. Capcom 2?
I'm mostly picking almost anybody except Dalsim and Anakaris, but I hate playing against those two. Any good player, any good Dalsim and Anakaris player kicks my ass most definitely, and especially also good Omega Red players. Those
Okay.
those three, I'm like I like when it's a good opponent. I can't even get close to them. And yeah. Anyway, I
Such
could
a bet.
mention the ones that
Basically, that's the
I
big win
hate
is.
I hate playing against, but definitely I play I play either the combo heavy guys. We got well, Wolverine is nerfed on here. It's not
Mm.
as good as when you play him in Marvel MDC, the first one and the superheroes one. But I still enjoy using him. Spider Man, Cammy, Chun Li, Rogue. Um, everybody that has any jiggling pixels, I love picking because I love looking at it.
Nice.
And I
You're not
also
one of those. Then.
anyway, I'm not sexist. I'm not sexist. I also love the burly macho man. I love picking Sangeet, even though I tend to lose when I pick him, but I still love using Sangeet. Anyway, not to discriminate. Anyway,
I think you have kind of discriminated. What I found really interesting is how he said, I don't like to play as Carl Sim, but then you
Oh
looked
my
at
god.
me camera because I'm like, what's going on, man? Trying to
It's tiny.
Crash,
say,
any
I like
dude,
playing Falcon looks at
any
the
dude
rocks.
with
I don't-
a longer reach than me is I get you know
oh,
I get
okay. It's a defense there, man. But I thought you,
it's a defense mechanism.
and you looked at me. I think what is this something against Indians you got? I don't know what that was about, man. I kind of looked at that and you looking at me, you know.
Go with that.
Those are fighting words. Anyway,
I'm just
no
messing with you.
man.
I think that honestly, I'm just messing with you. I think it's a really good game. This is a classic, and everybody talked about it when it came out. I played it in the arcade. I was surprised when
Sir Drew, this comic is really small.
Oh,
It's tiny.
the hell!
It's like, look at it.
So much right now. Could you
So
please at
it's
least
like-
open that page for me? Just give me a sneak peek.
There's a possibility.
Okay, here you want a peek,
that
Shin?
Crappy
Here you
has-
go.
Yes, please.
Here, look. There.
There's
That's.
a
You see
possibility
that?
that
I hate you so much right now. That's it.
Okay.
Fight me 1v1. Sakura.
Okay, here you go.
Let's go.
Here you go.
Okay, there we go.
Wow.
No.
Classic.
Yeah,
there's
I
none.
just want to make sure. Oh, I can. Oh,
I
hate
hate
so much
it.
now. Oh god. Oh, this has to be done by
Wow.
Udon Crew. It has to be
Yeah.
Udon Crew. God damn it. I
Bakit yung release dito sa Pinas walang ganyan?
My,
I just don't get
mine
it.
has none.
Uh,
Japanese version has nothing inside.
The
Oh,
R3 version has none. Sir
None,
Drew.
none, none.
Mm.
What
well,
the
I
heck?
I haven't buy it yet but
The great thing about this
yeah.
game is you can get any system now, pretty much. It's had re-releases throughout the years. It's so accessible, unlike Smash Bros, which is a Nintendo exclusive. The great thing is this is like anyone can access this everything we have. So, and it's been released on PS2, PS3, throughout the generations. And it's cheap to get now. You can just get it on digital if you want to play it. So, it's a really cool game. For those of you who haven't played it, you can play it cheap. You get it really cheap. Just play it. That's what I'd say about this game. It's a really good choice for Drew.
yeah.
Well done. Very
Anyway, the Japanese versions, I still see this. The PlayStation 2 version, I still see this for 2,500 yen, plus minus something along those lines. Same with the Xbox OG version,
yeah,
and the more expensive one is the Dreamcast version.
yeah.
This
So
goes up to 4,000 yen.
yeah,
So overall, if you're gonna go to Japan, you plan the trip here, you could just pick this up. I think you could afford 2,500 yen if you're gonna go here anyway. So still an easy pick for any fighting game enthusiast, fighting game collection, retro collector. And the only problem with this one is the OG version is not backwards compatible with the Xbox Series X and with the Xbox One. That's the only drawback that I could give with when it comes to the OG versions. Anyway, still cheap for now, especially since Marvel versus Fighting Collection has been released. I think it might even go cheaper, maybe possibly because some of the other games that were included with the what do you say? What with the previous game collection went down a bit when they were released in a collection. Also, yeah, that's about it anyway. That's my pick. Back to you, Sergio.
All right, thank you for that, Sir Drew. Back to you, Sir Jose.
All right. Shin, let's hear from you. What do you got?
So far, like the game that I want to actually talk about, it came out in 2008, and I'm sure all of you guys are very much familiar with it, and it's Street Fighter 4. Street Fighter 4 pretty much was like a big impact for me because this is around the time that back then I only just enjoy fighting game, more like I just enjoy it, whatever, win or lose something, but it was like Street Fighter 4 that actually led me into being exposed to the fighting game, community. And you know, when I used to live back in California, I actually got dragged by my friends to go to Super Arcade. Rest in peace, Super Arcade. But usually that's where most of the top players tend to visit and play, and they do live streams. And what's so fascinating is that like this game, it's been a long while since Capcom released Street Fighter, and this was the biggest transition from 2D to 3D. So everybody who started, getting exposed to Street Fighter 4, they're all still not getting used to it because they're all like, "Oh my God, we're going in 3D! Oh no!" And some people are not very fond of it, but as time progresses, everybody got used to it, and like for me, like in my case, I love Third Strike because of the pixels and the 2D style and whatnot. But what got me into this game because I almost quit playing this game because it's like, oh no, it's 3D. Who cares? I'm not gonna play it anymore. What brought me back was the mechanics, and it basically divides the top players from the casuals. It's not as like, oh, you learn how to do this move and then you do this combo and you're right and you win, right? But just like Clea Drew just said earlier, right? That when it comes to like certain people, they study frames, they study all these stuff. Street Fighter 4 has like this feature. It's like in a way, in order for you to close in on your combo called plinking, which is that like it's kind of like an I don't know if I would actually call it like a kind of like one of those glitches and whatnot. But in order for you to completely get a one frame exact of your combo, is that you have to do a certain blinking in which you have to press two buttons at the same time, kind of like trying to tap it together in order for you to actually get one of the frames to buff up in order for you to actually get that connecting hit. For instance, like I'm sure Jose here is a Sakura player as well. I'm sure you have heard of the Tatsu loop, which is basically Sakura doing her hurricane kick on a loop on Street Fighter 4. In order for you to actually get that, you have to do this: the hurricane kick, and then crouching kick, hurricane kick, crouching punch, hurricane kick, crouching fierce, and then another combo. It basically, if you are a top player, you're gonna have to end up like mastering those kinds of moves instead of just like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, I'm good. What makes this even interesting is like this is one of those games that Capcom is so popular with like making Street Fighter, Super Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter, blah 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 blah. When it comes to this one, this was the time that Capcom decided that we're gonna keep on doing these iterations, and then once we got this iteration of versions of Street Fighter 4, we're gonna release this Street Fighter 4 that has all these characters that we just released on this one, but with a new set of mechanics. And then they keep on adding on to a lot of the mechanics till later on in the end of the life of Street Fighter 4. They had like this kind of a rainbow edition that they added, which is basically them trying to trick most of the players to see if they're gonna like this, maybe, just maybe, they might start to like what we're gonna add to Street Fighter 5. So yeah, if you're very familiar with Street Fighter characters, most of them are all in there. Ryu, Ken. Me being a big fan of Sakura, always a big fan of it. I love Kami's butt, but I never really main her. But yeah, that's the pick that I have for this one. Is like Street Fighter 4.
Yeah, I had this game on my Nintendo 3DS when I made the 3D edition.
Oh yes.
I can't
That was
technically,
fun.
talk about that since it was released in 2011, and this is from games like 2010. It is a 2010 game, but it plays really well. And I thought I like this game because you worry about 2D games going into a 3D plane, and will they really work? Street Fighter 4 works, and it did a good job playing that way. I realised very quickly I'm not very technical. I started playing online with it. But
Could we go somewhere?
it's a great game. So I
Oh
definitely
no.
so good.
Maybe Friday.
Yeah. Sorry, Viraj. Just to actually add on, because I just saw whatever Christopher Abestado just wrote on the chat room. Real quick. But we had Street Fighter EX Plus on PS1 and PS2 before. Yes, that much is true. However, you have to take into consideration that Street Fighter EX is pretty much not like a full Capcom
Could
game.
we go to
Yes,
the
it has Capcom characters. Yes, it has like
Could we
Arena
go
characters
to
in it.
the
But the game
place
mechanics
where
for Street
I
Fighter
got my
EX
stuff and
was
the
completely
house?
combined 3D with the 2D mechanics.
The,
And as far as like the combos and attacks are concerned, you are much more free to actually move around with like the gameplay that Arika implemented on Street Fighter EX. But the problem and the reason why people are much more like annoyed when Street Fighter 4 came out as a 3D game was because they're all like, but why do we need to have it turn into 3D? Because everybody is expecting that like if Street Fighter comes out and now that we have all these new graphics coming out, why don't we have it in 2D? You have like a lot of these 2D purists that are still around that would not want to let go of that. So if you were going to introduce that it's like a 2D it's a 3D characters, you're expecting 3D mechanics, right? So
Yes.
some people did also expect that when they were seeing screenshots of Street Fighter 4, they thought that they're gonna get a Street Fighter EX kind of game. But when they found out that it's not even going to be in 3D, there isn't going to be much of a 3D space except for when you're doing the 3D, like a super move and whatnot. People were like, then why are we going to have it on 3D? Why don't we just make it 2D, and like give it a much more slick animation and whatnot? And that's pretty much is like, one of the biggest argument there. Street Fighter is considered stylized, cell shaded. Yeah, exactly. So everybody started with the pixelated and then like cell shaded, with the Alpha series. But what happened is that the transition made most of us like.
I mean, I agree with the to some extent to why people might have had these reservations when it comes to the graphics and the art design of Street Fighter, because that's a large part of it. However, what I think is very important with Street Fighter and what the core of the game is how it plays and why in my opinion, Street Fighter is the greatest versus fighting game series of all time because of how it plays. And there have been times when one game, I'm looking at you, Street Fighter 5, hasn't really stepped up to 4. And Street Fighter 6 corrected that. But Street Fighter 4, was a great game in how it played, and they kept the mechanic alive. I understand why they had to push for 3D graphics, because I'm thinking, well, hang about, it's a AAA title you're developing. You also have competition that are going to make these games to that standard graphically. You have to get with the program, Capcom. And if you're going to ask people $40 for a game on release, they want to see something that looks good. Yeah, and it plays well as well. And they can make a game that looks good, and they can make a game that plays well. And that is Street Fighter 4. And I absolutely love this game that you brought up. A great versus fighting game. I actually prefer 4 and 6 are my favorite ones that I've played right now. 5 I didn't like so much. But that's another story altogether. But yeah, in terms of the art direction, they took it in a different direction. However, it's not to say that Capcom still don't make 2D cel-shaded Street Fighter games, as you've seen on the Switch. They re-released another version of Street Fighter 2 with updated, more cel-shaded graphics. I think it's called Ultra Street Fighter 2 or something, Turbo or something. So they can still go back and do that if they wanted to. And there is enough of that old school Street Fighter 2 stuff. If you want to have to play those games, they exist. Play them. But why don't we try and innovate the games we're playing graphically as well as artistically how they play? And I think they did a great job with them, Street Fighter 4. And I think all these people who want things to remain old in that style, I think they need to also get with the program and realize that actually you have those games, they're great, but let's try something different. And that's what a new generation should do. And that's what Capcom did with Street Fighter 4, and they did it well. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. But yeah, good choice.
I got a friend of mine who also joins me in playing video fighting games for like fighting game community. He has an answer why you didn't like Street Fighter 5, and he said that to me, and I kind of like nod a bit because even I have a bit of an
the game has to, all right. So when you play Street Fighter 5 and how it plays, there's not much evolution from the game before it to what it is. Yes,
yeah, that's why.
It's better, but
you know what he said? You know what he told me?
It felt like cash grab. It felt like cash grab.
Basically,
they're making something new.
The answer to this one is simple. Street Fighter 5 wasn't made for you. It was made for Evo.
Okay.
That's why even I was like, okay, I can see that. Is that the Street Fighter 5, they didn't really just had like they do have the players in mind. But what they really have in mind when they were doing 5, especially when they were introducing that they're going to release Street Fighter 5, was that it's going to be much more focused competitively. That's why everybody who played it, they call it, Grind Fighter 5, because you're not really enjoying the game. First time that it came out, it doesn't even have a story mode. It doesn't even really have much to.
Yeah, the game has no story.
True. When the story mode, additional content, DLC was released, that was the time when I got into Street Fighter 5 because, as I've said, I'm not a good fighting game player. I just enjoy fighting games, and one of those things that I enjoy is when there's a story mode. So Tekken, one of the things I love about Tekken is story mode. So they added the story mode later on in the game, and Karen was there, and I was like, hell yeah, let's go.
Oh, that's it. I'm an Alaska player. That's it. You fight me later.
Street Fighter 4 was really good. I remember putting hundreds, if not thousands, of hours on that game online. I remember being so hyped watching all the trailers, and Street Fighter 5. No, even when Street Fighter 5 was out, I was still constantly going back to Street Fighter 4. That was my game.
It got slower, right? It feels slower.
Yeah.
And when you watch a competitive game like Street Fighter 4, you really feel like you're in the edge of your seat when you're watching top players play. There is this level of unpredictableness. Whereas like with Street Fighter 5, you can read it so well. It's like as if somebody is like guiding your hand while you're watching the game, or while guiding your hand while you're playing the game. That it makes you feel like as if you're already an expert. When in reality, it's just that like they just babied it down so that it's not just for us. Loyal Street Fighter fans, it's also for everybody that is actually wanted to become like an Evo player, and also to invite new people outside of the community to actually enjoy it. That's why they tried to simplify it as much as they could. But what happened is that because they release it so fast, because they're like, we need to get this out because evil, blah blah blah. You have this other game here, like ECO, whatever. Like all these tournaments coming out, they easily wanted to just release a game in which they can promote it and then play it and have a competition for it, and basically let it survive just with the competition alone. That you don't even need to actually make too much money with Street Fighter Five. All you have to do is like what? Have a tournament, have people watch it, revenue. Oh, let's release some DLCs, revenue. Oh, let's try to release some clothings, revenue. Then they just realized later on that people are like, so what about the story mode? What the fuck is going on with this game? And then what? They realized what later on till like what? How many people are saying that?
By then,
How,
people lose
what's
interest.
going on?
People lose interest.
If I can interject, if there's one thing that I find Street Fighter 4 when I first saw the trailers, and this could be a good thing and a bad thing, and this might piggyback on Sir JDM's game later. I like the fact that they included the characters from Third Strike, Alpha, and Final Fight because they're all shared same universe. That's a good thing. The bad thing, where are my rival schools at?
Mm.
I,
I mean, would have been nice if Batsu was there. Would have been nice if Kyosuke. The guys are there. I mean, you already got all these other franchises. I mean, I'm seeing
don't even get me
seeing
started with
some.
rivals.
Joe
Yes,
wants to bet.
I'm seeing
Sergio,
Akan.
Sergio, Sergio,
I'm seeing
Sergio.
Akan. Who the fuck are these new characters? I'm like, you got other characters from rival schools. Just bring them here. Who the hell are these?
Sergio,
These
Sergio,
guys?
Sergio, remember,
Yeah.
Sakura is already on the Street Fighter. And nasa rival schools din si Sakura.
Yeah, I mean, just her.
Yeah.
I mean, just
Right
her.
in
now,
Project
ang
Justice
fighting games kasi, nag-i-introduce sila ng parang celebrity players. Like for example, Street Fighter 6 has Terry Bogard on it, like the DLC.
Yes.
Right.
So maybe, just maybe,
I mean,
pwede sila
I'm just saying
ang
there
gagawin,
should be.
ang ginagawa kasi ng ang ginagawa ngayon ng Capcom, nire-introduce nila yung players nila, yung game mismo, para ma-entice yung mga players, yung mga fighting game players. Yun yung ginagawa. So, wag kalma ka lang for that kasi
You know what? Smart money
yeah.
says bring some rival schools characters into Street Fighter
Like
7
for
or something.
example, Project
Really
Justice
high.
is now remastering na. So nire-remaster na ang Project Justice. So maybe, just maybe by the next year, may makita tayong Project Justice 3. Pwede tayong makakita ng DLC ng Street Fighter 6. Hindi natin alam.
Capcom.
Ayun, so
Capcom.
so may question lang ako kay Mama Chu. May question
Yes,
lang
please.
ako.
Yes, please.
Sa lahat ng Street Fighter na version ni Kami, who's your favorite?
Pinaka-favorite ko completely is Street Fighter Alpha Killer B. Kasi siya, blue leotard siya na stripe. Then at the same time, blue really works well with her blonde tapos yung top yung niya. Yun yung pinaka-favorite ko na na outfit niya. Second to that will be yung Street Fighter 5 Delta White or Delta Red Delta Red outfit niya because yung mga straps and whatnot. At saka dahil
Pinaka-ayaw mong version?
Street Fighter 6.
I knew it.
Boo.
I knew it.
Kami Street Fighter 6. Boo.
Too much clothes.
I also hate Street
Yeah, but you
Fighter
have mods now. There's so many mods out there where you can play these characters without the clothes.
No, that's
You
why.
I knew
No,
it.
trust me. I had the mod. I had the mods for Kami and Sakura. Trust me. I had Sakura wear Kami's
being
outfit.
distracted. They're such a distraction if they're naked because they look so attractive to look at. So are you really focusing on the game or the women?
But why are you distracted? We're not distracted if that's the case. Sir Joe is definitely more focused if that is the case. He's not.
No, I
He's
think
gonna
Kinda
be in
different
the zone.
I think
Wow.
we should-
I'm holding the joystick right now.
See?
I
Yeah, I think
He's
I
more
sorry for Jose for not if he cannot understand me sometimes because I speak
it's okay.
Tagalog ha. Yeah, it's
I
sorry
said
Jose for that.
No,
He's
it's
in a
fine.
Pero
Vietnamese.
it's a man of
uh,
culture thing. Ah, so I know Mamuchu very well with regards of
yes,
Kami. And so
yes.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and here's let me just try to add a bit on Christopher Abestado's point of view. I do agree with the whole thing that it rival football was obsolete because it promotes student teachers fighting, but the real reason is the same reason why it's difficult for Street Fighter fans to actually get Karen in the much later versions. It's licensing. Um, if you think about it, it took them a while to even get Akira from rival schools to come out as a guest character DLC for Street Fighter 5. So the thing here is that like everybody has always been wishing. There's like only two Capcom fighting game that everybody is still wishing for, and they already had grandchildren or probably great grandchildren before it comes out, and it's Darkstalkers and Rival Schools. These two always have a hard time, and most of the explanation that everybody has is that like no matter how high the fandom is, no matter how much fans would wish for it, the most difficult thing is to actually get the original crew, the ones the licensing, and the privilege to actually get the whole IP to come back. That's the first problem. The second problem is that like you have like these corporates who's like, okay, should we risk our lives, our livelihood to create rival schools and darkstalkers, while Street Fighter is basically giving us cash grabbing money so easily.
Hang
You know,
on.
that's the
Another,
thing.
Interject.
another one's Power Stone. Another one is Power Stone as
Okay.
well.
All
Yes,
right.
thank you,
Interject.
thank you,
All
Viraj.
right.
Power Stone.
If I'm going to interject about this comment right here, the reason why rival schools obsolete is because it promotes students and teachers fighting. Okay, so Street Fighter fundamentally just strangers
That's
fighting each other, point blank,
Yeah,
right then and there. What's the difference, really? So, oh, I'm sorry,
and,
we're putting a line somewhere. Students and teachers are
and
taboo
destroying
fighting
and
each other.
destroying
We don't we
public
don't
and private property.
we don't want to promote delinquency or the use of the day. Okay, too much violence already. We need
Let's
to
just,
put the line somewhere.
let's just be honest here. Street Fighter was a 1990s phenomenon. They even made a movie on it. It has a brand value that's higher than all the other Capcom fighting games. That's why it sells. Why don't we just put out there what sells? I mean, look, I'm a retro game reseller. Even on my table when I go to these markets, what am I going to buy in? I'm going to put Pokemon on my table because it sells. Yeah, and I don't like the game personally, but a lot of people do like it. So I have Pokemon. I'm going to sell what sells. It's business. It's not personal. It's
yeah.
business.
I mean,
So
Street Fighter wise, you have a holy man that's basically practicing, Hinduism and whatnot, and then he's out there fighting people. I don't know. Would you really want to punch a monk that's basically practicing yoga?
Hey, listen, yeah. In Hinduism, we have to fight too. Being a Hindu myself, I'll tell you that now.
There you go. See,
They're very
that's
fast
why.
off. Right?
And it's the same thing with
And
teachers
Austin,
and
yeah.
students.
Austin is a hero, man. He's a national treasure for me. All right, he's real for
Yeah.
me, man. Austin is my
Oh,
man.
of
So,
course.
so for example, if we have Chun Li challenging Gen, so that's a student and a teacher fighting already.
I think you're
Goku
looking at
versus Ken and
Where,
Ryu.
where's the line? Okay, so if we got Ryu and Ken fighting Goken, that's already student versus teacher. So we already have teachers and students fighting. So what's
yeah, but
the difference here?
Let's not even
Rival
get that
schools.
far. Let's not even get that far.
that
What about
degree.
family values, guys? Like what about Kazuya and Heihachi
Yeah.
beating each other up?
Oh, fighting. All right, family members fighting. Okay.
Family members fighting, half brothers fighting each other.
You guys are looking too much into this. It's whether the fighting game is good and sold in record numbers. These other fighting games that you mentioned are good artistically, but they didn't sell in the numbers that Street Fighter did. That's why you're going to see
Yes.
Street Fighter again and again. It's as simple as that. It's not. You're looking too
Exactly.
much.
That's the reason. Yeah, that's why. Exactly. I agree with Viraj on this one. That's why we will have a hard time trying to actually get rival schools and Darkstalkers because no matter what we do, and this is just like, take it with a grain of salt, but I think most of the developers are looking on the numbers and how much that game made years ago. And let's
You know
face
what?
it, like these guys were always gonna look at it and say, like, But Rival Schools and
Yes.
Project Justice only made this much on
Yeah.
Dreamcast.
Yeah,
They're
or you
Yeah.
know
going
what?
back to what it
I
now.
will I will put the blame on why rival schools haven't really made such an impact as of today. I blame it on Tiffany.
Okay, what?
Don't
Tiffany
even get. Don't even go there. Don't even go there.
Tiffany is the poison of
Okay,
rival schools franchise.
Hey,
You know
hey, hey!
what?
Don't go over there. Hey, they
Anyway,
did pretty
anyway,
Anyway,
bad on Project Justice.
okay.
Okay, they
Oh,
did very
all
well.
right.
They,
Let's talk about
Speaking
another game
speaking
now.
of
Spent a
speaking
lot of
of
time on Street Fighter. Let's move on to another game because I'm conscious of time here. So we talk about Street Fighter 4.
all right, all right. Speaking of rival schools, let's go to our main guy anyway. So Dem, what you got?
Okay.
Okay, so for me, it's going to be uh, Rival Schools to Project Justice.
Oh, rival.
Um, it was Rival Schools 2 in Japan, but in North America, it's Rival School Project Justice. And this is a sequel to the what year was it? 1997? Was it 97 or 98 game? Rival Schools United by Fate. Um, the setting is 1 year. I think it was 1 year after the events of the first game. There was this gangster named Kuro Kirisawa, if I remember correctly. He was trying to rule these all of these schools together. This area in Japan where these schools are in, like the university belt of the Japan area. Eh, he was trying to cause chaos in the different schools in this area of Japan. And why does this character, I mean this player, have three Tiffany's in his party? I didn't think this is a
You
cheat
can.
code
Why
of
not?
this.
The question is
Yeah,
why not?
if you play long
Why
enough,
not
you can
four?
actually unlock it that way.
I didn't know that. And going back to the
You know
game,
what? The better question is why is Tiffany not naked? Why is there's way too much
That's what I've
clothing
been
in
saying,
there?
guys.
That's the
What I've been
question.
saying.
Well, my issue isn't that she's not naked. It's just that the outfit that she's fighting isn't a fighting outfit. I mean, that's so unpractical. Why she got a violin? You know, was she gonna cry me, like sing me a sad song or whatever? I don't know. It's silly, silly. Anyway, is what it is, I guess.
yeah, because they're trying to focus. I think back when they tried
Mm-hmm.
to create a game, a fighting game, they want it to be like unique, not like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, where the characters are real fighters. This one, they made it like a school setting where students can also fight. You know how we see anime, um, there are gangs who are students who fight each other. They tried to do that here, but in a realistic setting, you have in universities, you have varsity students. You also have these jocks like who cuts class and bullies other students. So here you can see all kinds of students in different schools, like the one doing the judo class. Here you have this like a sumo guy, this gun. You also
Yeah,
have varsity students who are engaged into different sports, like um, Shoma, Roberto, and who's the other one who plays
Oh man,
Roma
volleyball?
Roberto
I forgot.
Natsu. Natsu.
there you
Natsu, yeah. And there's also this Michael Phelps
go.
student who was,
Oh, that's Ryu. What's his name? Nagare.
yeah, Nagare, who does diving or swimming moves in mid-air,
Synchronization.
which is
Yeah, he
it's
does
really
synchronized
weird.
swimming.
You know, he does this foot flaps in the ground, but amazingly there's water splashing. and
You
it's
know
really
what bothers me about
amazing.
Nagare? You know what bothers me about Nagare? That like I could tolerate him if he wasn't tall. The fact that he's tall, lanky, and then you fight him with those moves, it bothers you. If he was a small character, it would have been interesting.
Yeah, like a medium character. Like in this, Nagare is a very slender guy, and he has this. He's also tall. He, not to mention, he's using this like paddle boards on his and on his limbs. It's really unusual. And also, they added a few more characters in the game, like the one with the violin,
That one.
Eureka. You also have
Eureka,
this
little tennis player girl named
the
Momo.
yeah,
Shout out to
named
my
Momo.
wife. I love you. Yeah, Momo.
Ah,
I love you, hon.
is that the is she the inspiration why she's named
She
after
named
her?
herself Momo. No, no, no.
It's a
Peach Girl,
different
the other manga. Yeah, it's a different reason.
okay.
Not this
So,
little annoying tennis player girl.
but if
I would
you're
question her if that's that.
if you're a um if you're a really good player and you use Momo, you can do a lot of combo. She's a combo character. She does this um, tennis racket thing when they're doing the air combos, which is one of the features that I really like because it borrows the game mechanics of the crossover games like Marvel vs. Capcom. They have this air combo that you could do to juggle your opponents through the air. Um, there are two different kinds of air combos. There's a mid air combo and another one that's really
There she is.
high. There she is with the tennis racket. Very annoying.
She's so annoying because
And
she's so small.
so they have special moves like your usual fighting game
There you go.
character.
That's her super.
That's the like the target practice. I mean the yeah. And special mechanics that it stands out before the Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I think I don't know if this is the first game that came out. I mean, if this came out before Marvel
What
vs.
bad
Capcom
concept?
2. Yeah. But I think this is one of those games that introduced three characters doing a team up together, because
Right.
in this game there are different team up attacks. You have this double team up that consists of an attack from the two characters that you have out of three, and then there's a super team up attack that you need five levels of uh, team bar. They will do a massive damage with all of those three characters, and it depends on which um, school the character you're playing it. Um, they have three different. They have different team up attacks like this one. So if using you're playing as a student from a different school, they will do a different attack. And then I also love how they added the like the alpha counter while you're blocking the move. They do this counter attack. Like in Marvel versus Capcom, while you're blocking, you could do the was it back down, then the two punch I mean the punch and kick attack where they do a alpha counter, like your partner will do a counter so you could um get away from the character attacking you or set up a combo while he's stunned. while the other characters, the opponent is stunned. And also you have these special moves like this one, the one Kyosuke is using. So that's the team up attack. That's the double attack. And they also added this special counter for these team up attacks. So you do the team up attack by pressing both the punch and the kick button at the same time. While your opponent is doing the team up attack, you can also do the same thing, like press the punch and kick button. So you could try to at least have an opportunity to cancel the team up attack that your opponent performed on you. So there will be like a cutscene that your third characters will square off. So whoever hits first, it will either cancel or proceed with the team up attack. For example, if you did the cancel team up attack and you hit first before the opponent hits you, it cancels the team up attack right away. However, if you get hit in that square up, then the team up attack that the opponent used on you will continue. And aside from team up attacks, it's not just attack. They have this support as well. Like they will there's one type that could heal you. It will heal your HP. And there's also another one that will maximize your um, team up bar. So you could have additional two bars on your current team up bar. So it's really like somehow tactical. You can use either to heal yourself or make your damage a lot more. So I think those are really unique game mechanics that were introduced here before we even saw this in Marvel versus Capcom 3, where you have already you can use the what do you call this, the crossover special, right? So rival schools introduced that first in 2000, then subsequently in Marvel versus Capcom 2. So if you're asking me who my favorite characters is in this game, let me see. One would be Roberto, the one with the football.
Oh.
Yeah, the soccer player, however you call it. People people in Europe call it football. So
Football.
Soccer.
Football.
Soccer.
We all know it's football, guys. Come on.
It is football. It is football. But the Americans
It's
have you believe it's American. They call it soccer in America, don't they?
Yeah,
It's a
Americans
joke.
call it soccer, just like the way they call electric system with English system.
Don't get me started on these Americans who don't know how to speak English properly. Let's
because if you call it football in North America, it's going to be a different game with a lot of padding and helmet, which is
it's basically
for
rugby
most
with many paddings. That's what football is in America.
well, they have a derogatory term for it here in the UK. We call it puffs in padding.
Rugby.
Puffs in padding.
At least in rugby, it's like
hands in padding. That's what these American football people are. That's what they look at it. But no, I do admire John Madden, because without him, there would be no FIFA soccer on the consoles or FIFA football. Because if we want for John Madden, forcing Trip Hawkins to force him to say, no, American football is an 11-player sport. So soccer, without that Madden engine, there would be no soccer games. So I think American football gets credit for that. Because
without Madden, there would be No
No,
Madden 2000, no Madden 2002,
well,
2003,
FIFA football
2000.
I'm trying to say FIFA football is bigger than Madden globally speaking because soccer is a game that we all play in the world. American football is just for you Americans. Yeah, right. But
I think
FIFA
what
Madden.
Sir Biraj is saying is he's going to like rugby more than football because they don't wear any protective gear, right?
To be honest, I
Oh,
think
he likes it raw.
Yeah.
wow, wow. Yeah. What can I say?
All right.
They don't like it being
So,
unprotected. They want it unprotected.
okay, so anyways, anyone who I don't think anyone talked about this game anyway. So what do you think, guys? Have you played this
uh,
back then? Have you tried
yes.
it? What are your
And
opinions?
anyway,
All right.
guys, for those who really, really want any sort of no to put Capcom on notice, let's go and speak with our wallets. This is our chance with the fighting game collection that's gonna be coming up.
Yep.
Project Justice is gonna be there. I do know that most of the fighting game personalities, the influencers, the YouTubers like Maximilian Dude, and I
Maximilian
think
dude.
Maximilian Dude, Justin
Yeah.
Wong. I hope that they will give as much attention to this as they gave with Marvel versus Fighting Game Collection. They
Yeah.
streamed that game a lot. Justin Wong was the biggest advertiser that they could have gotten for that particular game, even
Or
though
should you say troll?
he was trolling, but it's one of the best public publicity thing that happened for MBC Fighting Game Collection, and I hope they do give the same treatment to the Fighting Game Collection too that's gonna be coming up, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
be getting that too. As I've always said, when there's some debate on whether something needs more attention or whatnot, let's just speak with our wallets and hope that
I agree.
they do something about it. It does
All right.
sell well. That's why
Right.
that's why I think that most of the remasters are getting we are getting a lot of remasters. Nintendo and Capcom especially do this a lot, but because they do know that nostalgia sells, and we do get some form of HD 2D remaster from Square, so that's also a good thing. So anyway,
You know,
I just really
something.
want.
Yeah, I would like to add what Kuya Drew is saying. Besides speaking our wallets, is that if you guys are actually like big fighting game enthusiasts, if you would rather be a streamer or people that goes to local gaming communities and whatnot, if you guys have a tournament or some sort, try to add like rival schools or dark stalkers into your list because the more exposure, especially like in Evo, you see they're even bringing in like video games that are all like way obsolete, and then they try to actually bring a tournament back in it to give notice on those games. And lo and behold, like people have been pushing on Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for so long, and look, lo and behold, we finally got this one specific version in which most of us could probably have a much better netcode because that's the thing that we all wanted was like a better netcode at least. But now here we are, right? So I'm sure we could do the same thing. Besides, like speaking with our money, is that our wallet? I mean, is that we promote and try to actually share as much of like rival schools and darkstalkers because I think that's the only reason why we can't really get these games is because we wish for them, but the moment that like you wanted to actually share how awesome this game is, nobody's really trying to actually put it on a spotlight. You know,
All
that's why
right.
it's hard for Capcom
Um,
to take notice.
if I'm going to interject in regards to rival schools or Project Justice, I take umbrage. I take offense that people are calling these people high school students. Ain't no way these people look like high school students. Maybe
Amen.
because
Hey,
they're fighting
Jotaro
way
is a
too
high
much.
school student,
Maybe
and look
because
how
they're
old
such
he is today.
delinquents, they got being held up like for 10 years. They look like middle-aged adults, really, in high school, posing as high school kids. It's like, it's like Beverly Hills 90210 all over again. Like, who are just middle-aged adults playing as high school kids?
What do you know?
Uh,
Maybe in Rival Schools 3, if they release it, they're still in the
They're
juvenile
still in high
delinquent.
school.
Yes.
they're still
Rival
in high
college,
school, yeah.
no,
Rival
or
college.
Or maybe
or rival
barely made it
vocational
to
school.
college.
Oh, all right, Sergey.
All right. So for my choice, I picked Capcom versus SNK.
Yes.
And
Which one? Which one?
this one
Ah, yeah.
specifically.
One.
This one specifically.
The Capcom one or the SNK one?
The Capcom one.
Okay, noted.
But I do have the other versions.
Chaos one. Okay.
Nice.
Millennium Edition.
Capcom vs SNK is a very special game for me. Because growing up in the 90s, we had the Marvel vs. Capcom games. But I was always like, I want to see, like you always want to see, because there was always that debate, what's better, Street Fighter or Final Fight? Then you got King of Fighters, which was like their own little crossover, and you're like, man, I want to see these two companies go against each other. And then lo and behold, one day it happened. And then what's special about this game is that it has characters from Capcom the side and SNK side, and also has super bars reflecting the two styles from the two companies. So you got Capcom's bar, which is basically Street Fighter Alpha, and then you got the SNK bar, which is basically the extra bar from King of Fighters. And then like, to show you how much I love this game, these two characters right here, both my sons, their middle names are named after these two guys right here.
Ryo and Kyo.
Nice.
Yeah. So like whenever we announced the second name, the name for my second son, it was I actually just posted the little special intro from Capcom vs SNK2 that Ryu and Kyo have. So I was like, oh, my wife had no problem with me putting those middle names there. But this game, what's cool is that like you actually have a Darkstalkers character in here. So you would think that you're just stuck with like Street Fighter and King of Fighters characters, but no, Morgan is actually in this game, and she's not as extreme as she is in the Versus series.
Extreme how?
Because this isn't like big and flashy. This is more straight on, just like the fighting games that they came from.
Yeah.
And then there's the bounciness for
Nice.
For my right there, yo, me bouncy.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
But what I like about this game is that the visual aesthetic of it is so good. It'll like the opening cinematics when you go to every stage is something different, and it's like something that you've never seen before. So like on one stage you will see, it's like almost like it looks like you're watching someone play Outrun or something, some old racing game, and there's actually like a crash in the thing, and it like backs out completely, and there's an actual like crash on the highway that you're fighting in front of
In the background.
Yeah. But that and the music, it's so good. Like if you have a chance to play it. It does work on a ratio system, so characters will be assigned points, like right here.
This is to no bacon.
Yeah, so the stronger characters will take up your whole team. Weaker characters are just 1 point. So you could have a team of 4 people go against a team of 3 or 2 or 1, depending on what you want. And then I think later on you can unlock the ability to just remove the ratio system, and you can pick whoever you want. But fun fact about this game is that they were going to add Leon and Mega Man, but then they pulled that back and they decided, let's concentrate on just fighting game characters. But I would have loved to see Leon or Mega Man in this. And then this game does have
we did kind of see them on the other one, right?
Yeah.
But it's with 0. So.
Yeah, but this game does have 2 versions. So you got Capcom vs SNK, and then you got the Pro version. And the Pro version just adds some rebalancing, and then it adds 2 characters. It adds Joe, and then and Dan is seen right here.
Who in the story mode happens to be the winner for the
Yes,
tournament.
there they do. But my favorite characters to use, honestly, it's got to be Ken, maybe Benny Maru, and then
Yes.
I also jump in with some Terry and King as well. So it's a really, really fun game. I highly recommend it.
Mm. You know what? I remember this game because this in our usual arcade spot, they have this Capcom versus SNK machine. Then after a while, they replace it with a new machine, and you know what that game is?
What?
It's Rival Schools Project Justice. So I think that's when I started liking Project Justice. I started playing that game, and I got quite good at it. But I also remember one of my friends back in college. He was so like disappointed. Why did they take this game? Why didn't they take those what do you call this? Those gambling games instead of the Capcom versus SNK machine, because he's really into it. He plays Ken and Ryu in just one token every time we go there, and his ultimate goal was to meet um what they call this one, Akuma. He would like to fight this because there's a specific point where you if you notice in the middle, the bottom, there
Yeah.
is a point system there that you need to like gather
Mhm.
by doing moves or sometimes counter moves. You need it to be in a specific point to meet the hidden bosses like Akuma, or I think there's also a uh mid-level boss, like was it Nakororo or
I think so, yeah.
from Samurai Showdown, right?
Was it
Mhm.
was it Homeru or was it on the SNK2? Was Homeru on the SNK2?
It's on Capcom versus SNK, the first game.
No,
The
yeah,
one
she's in
with
this one too.
the ninja with the falcon,
Yeah,
right?
she's in this
Yeah,
one.
like
Yeah.
yeah, she's on this one. So wait, Homeru is on SNK versus Capcom 2, right? Or Capcom versus SNK, right?
Yeah.
Are my memories like because I know that like he's in one of those games. I'm not sure if it's the first one or the second one.
I think he's in this one.
He's also on this one, right?
I think so.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I just need to make sure because
Well, what's cool about this one is that it's going to be on that Capcom Fighting Collection too.
Mm.
So you're gonna get Capcom vs SNK Pro, Capcom vs SNK 2. You're also getting the Project Justice, and then Raj mentioned them earlier. You're getting Power Stone 1 and 2 on there as well.
Yep, that's good. I mean, it's good that we can actually replay these games and they're being re-released on modern systems, and that's the beauty of this. I think it's good that you can actually get accessibility to this, unlike it being locked to a certain format. And these are quite affordable for you to play. So these games are actually it's really cool that we can get access to this again. But yeah, this particular game, Capcom versus SNK, beautifully drawn, beautifully animated. I like the two distinct art styles of SNK and Capcom. and they blend well together. And yeah, I mean, Capcom think they can take everyone on. Marvel, SNK, are you going to be a Capcom versus Sega soon? Who knows? But I think they can. There's a lot of scope for these versus games because you got two great franchises here. With the SNK King of Fighters series, which you mentioned Fatal Fury. Well, Fatal Fury evolved into King of Fighters. That's what happened, and now you got these two franchises. So yeah, great game. I prefer Capcom versus Marvel. Personally, I just like the way games play. But yeah, you can't go wrong with this. Can't go wrong at all.
Speaking on the Capcom versus Sega, there's actually a fan game that's being made right now, and it looks pretty good. It looks style wise, it looks like Capcom versus SNK 3. So I think there's a demo too. Watch, I'll post the Twitter on the.
Oh yes, please.
Yeah, but the snob in me would like it officially licensed by Sega.
Yes, yeah.
An official game, please. But it's nice to know there's fandom out there that's doing this sort of stuff. So
yeah, it does have
At
Sonic.
At least with Sega, you don't have to worry about like what Nintendo is doing.
Yeah, true. Licensing, not too much really.
Right.
Right, so
My question would be with the fighting, especially with the fighting gaming community, between the Street Fighter people and the King of Fighters people, how come SNK versus Capcom hasn't really reached that much of a hype in terms of competitive gameplay, Evo wise? Or is it just me? I mean, usually just Street Fighter or Tekken, but not this.
Well,
Why?
nowadays it is. Well, because the thing with I would say it's more of like a niche, especially with the SNK community, because you have to take into consideration, especially with the gameplay. One thing that like SNK is very very like known for is that like their moves is almost like trying to make pretzel out of your controller, and then that pretzel motion is basically just about to do a super move. The other issue with that is that like it's most of my friends, like especially the ones who are into the fighting game community, they say that like when you play an SNK game, especially like the King of Fighters series, it's pretty much that like you have already, if there's like this way or a path, you're basically a path of monkhood, and then you're gonna be secluded far, far away from the mountains, never to be seen again, because the way that they have their gameplay mechanics, the way that they do most of these things, it looks simple from the very beginning. But if you look at a gameplay on King of Fighters, especially the original 96, 97, 98, and so on and so forth, there's a lot of mechanics in there that, like, if you don't really know much about that community, you won't even know that combo exists. Like especially with the Mexican Hispanic community, they are so into King of Fighters that they are the ones who's like fighting against Koreans, and they all know these certain combos that even when I was like 17, I was like, I don't remember that combo could even exist. Plus one thing, like especially like when I was asking about SNK versus Capcom, the other SNK version, which is the Chaos one, right? SVC Chaos. I would say that like playing the bosses in that game is as hard as like basically playing Dark Souls. It's almost like you would say like SNK's Dark Souls of fighting game community, because their bosses are so hard. You might as well just like you have to do some exploits in order to actually beat these bosses. But the AI on these bosses are so difficult that I'm sure like most of you guys here who play SNK games, how terrible and annoying like God Rugal like
Oh my
Rugal
God.
is, or freaking like SVC Chaos like Shinakuma would be, right? And even though you haven't even pressed
Or
a button,
Shin
they
Mr.
already know that
Karate.
what you're gonna press. Yeah. Oh, what's
That's
that?
what I said. Or Shin Mr. Karate from
Shin
SNK.
Mr. Karate is also another good example of that.
That's why they
like,
give you those
they have-
options when you die. If you want infinite power, CPU at lower health.
Yes, that's
They know.
they know this is like, oh, you just got
You know
your
what?
ass whooped. Here,
I am getting a lot of PTSD just thinking about God Rugal or Omega Rugal's genocide cutter. It looks awesome. Like if you're the one pulling it off,
Of course.
it's
It's
very
beautiful.
it's a very satisfying move to pull off. But if you're the one on the receiving end of it, it's really annoying.
Well, yeah, because like you basically take a genocide cutter, right? So you have the first few frames frozen where you're basically just seeing the cut gets through you, and then as you actually go higher and flew off the screen, you see your life meter just go almost like 25%, and it makes you wonder, one genocide cutter is enough to actually kill you. What if I get caught by it another time? So, and then like Rugal is like one of the most toughest bosses in the SNK history. When you play an SNK game, pretty much like the move list, like who would have thought that, like most of us who play Street Fighter, right? You know how, like, okay, you press a Hadouken, then you could do a Shimp Hadouken. It's simple as that. A, B, and C, blah blah blah. You're good. In SNK, you have like, oh, did you know that Kyoko Sanagi can actually hit with this one move by actually doing this specific move, because it would actually buffer to this move, and you're just like, how could that work? Because this move goes from down forward, down back, punch, and then this other one is like down back, and then they basically said, oh no, you just press forward, down back, and then you do another down back forward, and basically it would do to that next move. And I'm like, I don't know these kinds of things, and I'm very competitive. So SNK is very very tough to actually learn. There's a certain specific learning curve. One of the persons that I know personally, like Kuya Jano, if you're watching, shout out to you. Even he, when he plays this game, like he tells there's like a lot of these complex moves, complex things that Street Fighter doesn't even have, or Tekken doesn't even have. So that's the reason why it's like you barely would see them in there, but there is a strong community for SNK games.
So what? So between so you got the boss from SNK, really really tough as nails. So you got your Geese Howard, you got your Wolfgang Kaiser. Of course, Rules there.
Wolfgang Krauser is
You got
Krauser,
your
yeah.
You got Orochi, of course.
Yeah.
I remember fighting
Don't get me started with Orochi. Don't get me
Yes,
started
oh
with
my
Orochi. Ray of Light, that's it, you're done.
That's it, Rail Light. That's it. Not you can't even block that guy. All right,
You could try.
that's it. How about Sir Ray?
Yes.
How about Sir Ray's fighting game of choice?
Mm.
Sir Ray's been so sorry. Mute.
Too many to mention eh.
Many to mention.
Pili ka isa. Isa lang.
Isa lang.
From the 2000
Isa
to
lang, Nino.
2010.
The first fighting game na lang na that I've been playing since it's supposed to be X-Men Children of the Atom, kaso lang it's from the 90s era eh. So let's go to the Darkstalkers Clock Tower from the collaborative edition that was released on PSP and Dreamcast. So basically it has Darkstalkers 2, Night Warriors, the well, what can I say? It has Felicia on it, it has Morrigan on it, Queen Bee on it. They have a lot of jiggles when they fight, if you know what I mean.
Nice.
There are a lot of bouncing, something like that. Yeah, and actually, on the fighting side, uh, Darkstalkers introduced me the juggling system, and they introduced the they first introduced the juggling system. So yung juggling, it's like the combo on the ground, not unlike in the air, right? So that's it. Yeah, Darkstalkers Chronicles, the Chaos Tower. Yeah, that's it. Sayang, X-Men sana. Because of the fighting collection. Pero that's it. Um, Mechanics of the game, versus mode. You need to kill the other opponent. That's it. Yun lang. No base walang halong lande. It's just you and the other guy fighting and killing each other.
Different kinds of demons
Yeah.
and monsters fighting each other. It's like,
Yeah.
This
Parang
is
ganun.
Halloween fighting game sort of.
a Halloween fighting game.
I think this game, it's like this is where, not sure if I'm correct about this. I think this is where Guilty Gear took inspiration because of the combos, the on the ground combo.
No,
Unlike
no, no.
the no?
Hindi siya inspirasyon ng Guilty Gear. Kasi mas nauna ang Darkstalkers kaysa sa Guilty Gear. Darkstalkers was released 1990s
Yeah,
and
I
Guilty Gear
mean
was released
Guilty Gear
on
was inspired of this game. That's what I'm
ah ah
because of
yeah, yeah.
the
Kasi
on the
sabi mo
ground combo.
kanina Darkstalker was inspired by Guilty Gear. No. Guilty Gear was
No,
inspired by
inspired of
Darkstalkers.
ins-
Yan. Ayun. Baka malilay yung
Uh,
ayun.
I
yeah,
mean,
but
playing with the Darkstalker series. They haven't really released a Darkstalkers 4, and I don't know why. With Darkstalkers 3, the first couple of Darkstalkers games, my go to guy is always Dimitri because I like spamming Hadoukens or what's his projectile called? I keep forgetting.
And he's super. And
Right,
he's super. I
and
bet
he's
you love
super,
the super. He
and he's
turns
super.
everyone.
Right?
It turns
But
everyone.
on Darkstalkers 3, I always keep using Jeddah. I like Jeddah, the demon.
Yeah, I like him too.
Mm.
That's one thing that I really love about the 90s arcade era, since arcade was such a huge thing back then. You could literally not I think it's on my mind, but it feels like literally every month there's a new fighting game out there in the arcade. Either it's the Last Blade, Samurai Samsho, uh even World Heroes, so many niche fighting games came out during the 90s, but sadly fighting games sadly slowly died down, and simply because of as you have as you have said guys have said earlier, it's all about the money, and that's the reason why they are doing this. But during the 90s you could see the passion and the ingenuity and their imagination unfold, and we were able to play, and that's one of the reasons why I really love that they are releasing so many of these collections, the fighting game collections, and other types of collections, so that the newer generation would be able to have a taste of what the amount of games we have experienced back then. Anyway, just wanted
All right.
to
So a question to the gentlemen here. A question to all of the gentlemen of culture on this panel. So Morgan is basically the de facto face of Darkstalkers,
Oh,
and you always see her on the crossover fighting games. Is there any particular reason why?
There's
I
two
mean, there
big
are
reasons
other
why.
Darkstalkers characters out there.
well, I mean, she's a
She
There's
wasn't
very
two
always
big
her.
reasons.
She's the most popular kasi. She's the most
Yeah,
popular favorite,
hmm
kumbaga.
because
Yeah.
she's very
ask
attractive.
Because of her boobs.
yeah,
yeah,
because of
Yeah.
our assets.
You know, it's
Uh,
Just
it's
like how Dead or Alive has
always
Kasumi.
has Kasumi.
Has
Yes.
always has Kasumi, and they even have a game specifically for the jiggle physics in in the Extreme series. So
Invaluable.
yeah, it's just basically giving people everything that they wanted from the Dead or Alive series. So there's that. It's the
Which is
most
boobs.
ugliest.
Sex
Which is
sells.
boobs. Right. Okay. Because in Street Fighter, it's always Ryu. It's either you got Ryu and Chun Li. I mean, they're always there, right? And for the SNK people, you always got Kyo, always, and you always got Mai, of course.
Perry.
And then and then
Very
on your Darkstalker side, it's always just Morgan, and every once in a while you got Felicia.
I thought you were. I figured you were more of a Felicia fan, Sir Joe. I thought that was.
No,
your-
I'm more of a Felicia, really.
Yeah,
I'm more of a furry than a more.
a deviant. That's why you like animals and you're a deviant. You can't even like a human woman. It has to be an animal because you like having claws dug into you. I know you're a sick.
I like petting the pussycat. Yeah, sure.
No.
All right.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So all right.
far away.
I'll finish it up with my game,
Oh, wait,
and
Here
all
we
right.
go.
Here we go.
Yes,
I-
you're gonna finish
I'm,
it
I'm
off.
scared. I'm the hentai artist. I'm scared.
All right. Here we go, guys. Okay. Hear me out. Okay.
We are. We are.
Yeah.
We are hearing you out.
Hear me
Go
out.
on. It's gotta
So
be good.
as I'm a JRPG kind of guy, and I mean, I don't really, I don't really partake on fighting games as much as I was back in the late '90s. But for this game, for this episode, okay, I have a couple, but we only have enough time just for one. And for this, I'm gonna choose Tales of Versus. Anybody heard of that?
No.
No.
ESPN.
Tales of Versus.
So
No.
I was like, dot.
Please.
I was like,
Is it a crap game? Is that why we've not heard about it? Is it actually
yeah.
bad?
Was this a?
Oh
is,
yeah,
is
it's a
this
crap
a
game.
game in
Crap game
Japan?
according to this guy. All right. So Tales
Is it a
of
Dojin
Versus.
game?
So basically, Tales of Versus. So it's basically Smash Brothers, but with Tales of characters. Okay. Came out for the PSP back in 2009 by Namco Bandai. With Power Stone and Smash Brothers taking an inspiration from those games, they came up with this. But with a bunch of characters from the Tales series. Unfortunately, it was never released outside of Japan. So this is a Japan only game. So you got characters from Fantasia. Okay, so we got Tales from Fantasia. You got characters from Abyss, Destiny, Eternia, Symphonia, Innocence, Hearts, and Vesperia. So it's like a battle royale platform. So think of it as Power Stone slash Smash, early Smash Brothers kind of gameplay. The way you move your characters here, when I first tried it, it's like when it plays exactly as like you're moving your characters. You're playing like a Tales of games. When I mean is that when you press circle all the time, it's like when you're like, for example, when you're using Kless or when you're using Luke or when you're using Yuri. When you keep pressing the circle button, they perform their usual combos like what they're doing on their own game. If you press X, they will perform some special arts or special skills move. There are certain items that will pop up here that can either raise your attack power, raise your MP. Oh, so you got your HP, your MP, and your charge meter. Okay, so your MP depends on. So when you press X, you perform your special move. Of course, your MP decreases. So you need to find the item that will replenish your MP so that you can perform a lot more super moves. Of course. So the items that will spring up here can either, like I mentioned before, can either replenish your health, like for example the gels. If you're familiar with the Tales games, They like using gels and potions here. So you got your special apple gels to replenish your health. You got your orange gels to replenish your MP. You got your purple gels that will replenish both HP and MP. You got some life bottles if one of your character for some reason fell unconscious. All of that stuff. They can either increase your mobility. It can either slow you down. All sorts of stuff. Depending on the items that you'll encounter, it's very random, really. You can also perform your super arts here. Sir Drew will know this, and Miss Hino might know this because they are JRPG players. So for the JRPG players, especially those who are familiar with the Tales characters, they have their super arts, their super moves, their killer moves, basically. So so there are certain conditions that you should that's required before you can pull off those super moves. It's really quite difficult to pull off, especially with all of the characters fighting all over. Um, the goal here would be just knocking, just trying to survive. I mean, it's not like a Super Smash that you can just toss or punch your characters out of the ring. So just beat the hell out of each other. That's it, really. One of the things that I can nitpick about this game is that out of all of the Tales characters that I know and that I have played, not a lot of there's a lot more characters in one particular franchise. No, not franchise. There's a lot more characters in a particular series or title rather. Like for example, for Tales of Abyss, you got a few here. For Tales of Innocence, you only got the main character. For Tales of Rebirth, you don't even get the main character here. Yeah. For Tales of Hearts, you only got two characters. So and the other series like Vesperia, you got three. You got 3 and 4 characters. For Tales of Abyss, you got 6 characters. For Tales of Symphonia, you got 5 characters. So there's not a lot. So it's not quite fair in regarding of representation. Uh, for those people who are familiar with Tales series, and if you're going to play this, um, the fir- the character select screen are quite limited. Really, you only can get you only have like what 8 characters at the beginning. So you need to finish the story mode a few times just so that you can unlock the other characters from the other Tale series. Um, so the story here, it's just that for some reason they're just there, you know. um, the, the characters just the characters are just there. They didn't really address like, oh, who are you, or what are you doing there. It's just think of it as like another dimension or another timeline where these characters, for some reason, from different universes, they're just there. Just like Marvel versus Capcom, they're just there. All right, but yeah, it's quite fun, especially when you're familiar with if you're already familiar with how you play your Tales games. This is not going to be quite difficult for you to learn how to play. Really, I always keep using Yuri from Tales of Vesperia because I like his combos better out of all of the protagonists that they have here. Um, there's also Jade from Tales of Abyss. In terms of magic, he's your guy. But in terms of melee sword fighting, yeah, for me it's Yuri. It's either Yuri or Stan from Tales of Destiny. So yeah, That's pretty much it, really. Oh, another thing. So there's also a mini game that is included here on the Tales of Versus. It's called Tales of Walls, I think. It's what it's called. So there's a mini game here. Let me just show the footage. So the idea here is Tales of Wall Breaker. There you go. The Tales of Wall Breakers. So the story. Um, the art style is somewhat different here because it's just a mini game. But the premise here would be destroying both walls on each opposite side of the screen. The first one who breaks both walls is the winner. So you don't even have to beat your opponent really to win this mini game. Well, either you break all of the wall, you break both walls, or just beat the other guy, beat the other character. What I like about this mini game is that the art style here reverts back to the PS1/SNES visuals, visual quality design here, which kind of reminiscing, which is very nostalgic, really. But it's quite fun when you get used to it. I actually like playing this one more than the battle royale main game, really. So yeah, so that's my game, Tales of Versus. Sir Drew, being the JRPG guy, guy that I know that you are.
I remember that there's also another crossover Tales game on the PlayStation Portable besides this one. I
Yeah,
just forgot the title, but that's the more JRPG one. And I don't remember playing this one. I do see this a lot of the times. I thought it was just the other crossover game that I saw. I think that one also has a sequel. And this looks a lot like Smash, and but I do like looking at the mini game more, and that's more interesting to me than the battle royale one. And sadly, it just looks like m- they just place most of the main protagonists on here, so there's not much variation on how the battle look.
that's the main that's the main complaint of most players who notice about this game. It's mainly the main characters of each title. Not, I mean, if they've done like all characters per each game, would have been nice.
Yeah,
But it's the PSP, so it can only handle so much.
yeah. True. Anyway, I do love the Tale series, but sadly, this particular game does not really pique my interest since it's too um it's too basic from the looks department, and it does I don't is Senel even here? Senel's
Yeah,
not here. Well,
yeah. I
anyway,
mean, it's quite. I think the target audience here are just for the Tails players, really. I
just
mean,
mostly
just
other
right. I
purpose.
mean, they're thinking, okay. I can only imagine Namco Bandai's point of making this game. Smash, Smash Brothers is quite popular. Why not create something similar, but with our characters? So they came up with this, and and like what you said, because it's only struck in Japan, it never really. It was such a niche franchise that it only got stuck there. I mean, if it showed like a bit more promise, it would have been localized outside of Japan. It would have been localized outside, to the west. I mean, if this was released for the West, I think it might have, it might have
Yeah.
garnered some success, maybe. But because it only stuck in Japan, not a lot of people know about this game. Truth to be told, when I was in Japan, when I was in Japan in 2019, when I was looking for some Tales of series games, even if they're in Japan, even if they're just Japanese, I just saw this one. I just saw Tales of Versus in where is that? In one of the book off in Akihabara, and I'm like, oh, a Tales game, but a fighting Tales game. So I just bought it. So I got a copy of this. It's still sealed. It's in my cabinet back home.
The
But
wall
yeah,
breaker part.
yeah. Oh, and the one that you thought and the one that you were talking about earlier. Yeah, what is that game? The one featuring Tales of Cilia.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That one. Yeah.
I can't remember. I knew I played those games. I just can't remember for the life of me what the title was.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, that's my game, guys.
I mean,
Tales of versus or Tales of VS.
Oh,
There you go.
a bit.
to be honest, it looks shit. To be honest, I mean, look at that children's graphics, man. It doesn't even look like a fun game to play. I mean, out of all the games you pick, that one. I mean, why can't you pick a
Here we
decent
go.
fighting game? That is such a
There
shit.
we go.
You
There we
Way
go.
to go, Joe!
Yeah.
Round
Way to
Fight.
go, Joe! Achievement unlocked.
They're not children.
Maybe.
They're not children fighting. Why do you want to play a fighting game with little kids
How
fighting?
does
They're
does
not-
Kuya Joe manages to press Mirage buttons every
What?
single time? I'm so surprised.
Why do you have to pick this piece of crap game? I'm shocked that you
You
picked
should have seen Biraj when we were
Something
doing
cool.
the puzzle the puzzle games.
We've
He
all
was
been trying.
living.
We've all been trying, but somehow it's always Kuya Joe who does this.
It's just Joe. It's just Joe.
Why do you have to pick this shit game though? Like you could have picked Soul Calibur 2. You got Ivy there. She's got some.
You-
You know what? He was he was suggesting Blaze Blue. He was suggesting Soul Calibur. He was suggesting some other fighting game. And I'm like, okay, sure, I'll give it a try. Then he said, okay, I'll do Super Smash Brothers. I'm like, okay, so since we're doing Battle Royale, I have a game for you. Boom.
Me. Why can't you be an original gangster? Why do you have to be like someone
No,
like
no.
what Viraj is doing? You know, you could have just picked like a game that you wanted to like. Don't copy me. If you like boobs, you like boobs. Pick Soul Calibur. You know what I mean?
You know, just a little bit of a context for everybody who's been listening and probably watching. Everybody in Timeless Gamer has been always attempting to piss Viraj off to actually get this reaction out of him. But somehow, someway, for some reason, it's always Kusto who always gets this.
You didn't have to pick this children's
Only
game. Like,
Joe.
why do you want to watch a game with children fighting? Why?
Not for the lack of trying. I
Why
know.
you that children for
My-
in the first place?
I mean,
Why can't you appreciate a woman?
all right. When I do my selections for the topic, I go with I just go with my gut. Okay. I mean,
Your
just so
guts,
happens
right.
to just keep pissing this guy off.
You don't have a list of what
I was
what
expecting
members
Joe
of
to go
PGS
for
takes
either,
off with this.
something like Rumble Roses or Dead or
Yeah.
Alive or something.
No, I
some
was
jiggly-
expecting him
some
to say
jiggly
Rumble
game.
Roses too. I was
Oh,
expecting
that's
him
a
to say
wrestling
Rumble
game.
Roses.
No, that's a
Oh,
wrestling
yeah,
game.
it's a wrestling game.
That's a wrestling
It's still a
game.
fighting
I mean,
game.
if you're,
Come on.
if you're talking about if you're talking about wrestling games, I would have went to Rumble Roses, but
Rumble
we're not.
Roses.
All right, fair enough. But still,
No, you
man,
should
I
have
mean,
gone to Dead
So,
or Alive
hey.
with the jiggly pieces.
Oh, no.
I was
No.
totally. This was
What I'm offering, I'm
completely out
just
of left
remaining
field.
true to I'm just remaining true to my character, which is I'm a JRPG player, but I also would like to contribute to the fighting genre.
It's a shit fighting.
I offer this.
Good one.
You out of all people just don't like it.
There's a reason nobody heard of it. It's 'cause it's shit.
you know, he was writing this review with Viraj's picture next to him while he was actually trying to review this game. He literally was like playing the game and looking at Viraj's picture. It's like, yep, I got you for this episode.
You ain't got shit,
Yeah,
bro.
Super Smash Brothers. Okay, I got Super Smash Brothers right here.
Smash Bros is a proper game, yeah? That's a proper game, and it's got real women.
comment
It's got
saying
You got-
episode objective
you got
achieved.
Princess Peach, you got Zelda in there, you know, waifus that people like. But you pick these little children, you know what I mean? Like, who's gonna look at that? Oh, I'm a pedophile. Nobody cares about this shit game. No wonder it's shit. No women in that game.
It's not even.
Really?
Oh my god!
Really?
Now,
Wow,
now,
we're
Really?
going there.
there's no
Really,
women
my
in
game
the
is for
game.
children. This guy coming,
Oh, wait.
this guy representing Super Smash Brothers,
Super Brothers.
coming from
Yeah.
Nintendo. Kiddie games, really?
Okay. It's accessible for a lot of people, but everybody plays it, not just kids. Yeah, grown up.
You know what's funny about this conversation is that like two guys that barely play fighting games are now arguing about Smash. Yet the people who are basically serious in playing fighting games are completely quiet about the whole matter.
Because you know I'm right. That's why they'll silently
I'm
agree.
just
They agree with me. They agree
The
with
whole
me,
scenario
not
that's
you.
happening right now.
No. I'm not dismissing that you're right. I'm just saying I'm not wrong. All right, let's go. Let's go with
No, wrong, wrong.
that's the
This is gonna be one of the. This will be on the shorts, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys want to see this as a shorts, do try to press one down the chat room.
You're wrong, mate, for liking this game because it's a game for pedophile. I'll tell you that now, man. Looking at these little girls.
Jesus Christ! I can't believe we even went there.
Don't look at that, man.
All right.
Don't why I went there, yeah? Because you're looking at. Listen, we started off this episode talking about sexy women in these video games, yeah? And he picks a video game. I was expecting sexy women in his video game, but he just chooses ones with children.
All right,
Come on.
all right.
What? It's like what? You're trying. He's like he started as you, and all of a sudden he becomes James Sapple. Is that what you're trying to say?
Listen.
All right, fine. If I offending the king of fighting games, if I offended the king of fighting games, right?
No,
Here,
I'm disappointed.
might be
You didn't
so.
pick hot women. I get annoyed when you pick hot women for the sake of picking hot women in fighting games, like in the puzzle games episode. You just picked a puzzle game with hot women, yeah? Okay, fair enough, yeah, but there was a shit puzzle game. But in this case, you picked a fighting game which is crap, but there's also no hot women in it. You can understand my disappointment because I was expecting.
Oh shit!
It was
There's
a
no
bit
hot
of a left
women in
field.
it?
I wanted some hot
Oh,
women.
Sir Drew, Sir Drew,
Yeah, it's
school is full.
disappointed me.
Oh,
Man.
he back up, guys. Check this out. Here comes.
I'm calling for backup.
I love how in this argument, like all the people who are like talking about fighting games are now easy to be dragged into the arena.
All right, I'm not even going there. It's already way past our overtime. All right,
Okay.
let's just do our shameless plugs before we end the show. All right, Shin, where can they find you?
Well, currently you guys are just going to find me here in Timeless Gamers, and I do want to promote actually the upcoming webcomic community webcom because I do have plans to reestablish the podcast there. So just stay tuned, and once that I have it, I'll actually promote it here. Also, just a bit of a shout out to my wife and kid who's completely being peaceful behind me, and I hope that you guys are doing well. I love you guys, and to all of the Retromancy people, I miss you guys, and I hope you guys are doing well in this wonderful, wonderful weekend. That's it.
All right, thank you for that, Shin. Sir JDM, where can they find you?
Here in the Timeless Gamer Show. And 1, 2, 3 Go Retro. Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. But actually, if you have time and you're into music, follow the One Man Band because I'm going to be active there soon. And see you all guys in the next episode.
All right, thank you for that, Sir JDM. Sir Drew, where can they find you?
You can see me
Japan.
popping up here at the Timeless Gamer Show from time to time. And you could also check out my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, which is named Geek Out Gaijin, where I do unboxing, some geek blogs, commentaries, and sharing some insights and some guides on how to get games and how to check for English support on Japanese video games. So Geek Out Gaijin on both Facebook and on YouTube.
All right, thank you for that, Sir Drew. That's Geek Out Gaijin, guys. Geek Out Gaijins, right there on the comment section. Please give a like and subscribe. Watch his stuff, really informative and a lot of show and tell, really. How about Sir Ray?
First naman. Love you.
Retro Freak Gaming. Usually I do stream pero tinatamad na uli. I just finished Silent Hill 2 remake and
Yes.
nag-speedrun na lang. So hopefully I can finish it by 2 hours lang. So practice lang ng practice. Studio.ph, if you have time, just like and follow the page. That's it. Yan. Salamat Sir Jo for um sa pag-invite ulit. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that survey. And of course, Viraj, where can they find you?
You can find me on the Sega Genesis group on Facebook. You can find me obviously on this channel. You can also find me I'll be at the Doncaster Gaming Market tomorrow in the UK. Well, I'm sure there's no one in the UK watching, but I do buy and sell video games. I do have an X account at Bygone Games UK where all my recent games that I pick up are there. So if you're interested in buying retro video games, you can have a look at my Twitter, and that's where I usually roam now. Bygone Games UK. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that, Sir Viraj. And of course, Sir Jose, who led this charge.
All right. You guys can find me on Twitter, Dark Gothic Fate. I'm also on Twitch. I haven't been streaming lately, but I'm going to get back to it. Probably streaming some of this. I have a Facebook page and Instagram, all that stuff. And then also all my gaming identities are Dark Gothic Fate. If you want to add me or if you want to play some Marvel vs. Capcom.
All right. Thank you for that, Sir Jose. So we already got a few more episodes before we end the year of 2024. The next episode will all about mobile gaming. Yes, we're gonna tackle mobile gaming. I roll, I roll, I roll. And then
God damn
after
it.
that, we'll be reviewing. Sir, I hope Sir Drew is here for this. Final Fantasy Spirits Within. So a movie review about that
boy.
movie. And then after that we will be talking about the computer role playing games. That will be the last episode for sometime the second week of December before we hit the holidays. All right. And yeah, that's the show, guys. And thank you all so much for staying here from beginning to end, and all of you guys who just dropped by. You can always go check the replays and also check our audio versions of this episode and the previous episodes. Thank you all so much. In behalf of Miss Hinu, Sir Dan, Sir Joel, and Sir Eric, who cannot be here. Thank you all so much. And as always, our games and our bodies may grow out of date, but our gaming experiences will forever remain. Hey,
Timeless.
Timeless.
bye bye bye.
Bye.
Ingat-ingat, guys.